Apple to request a refund. The program is available to customers worldwide and covers the affected units for 5 years after the first retail sale, but does not extend the MacBook Pro's standard warranty coverage. Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. Reuters reports Congress needs to consider rolling back the spending bill that U.S. Republicans brokered with Democrats last month because lawmakers voted to enact the $1.3 trillion legislation without reading it, according to an aide to President Donald Trump on Sunday. White House Legislative Director Mark Short said the spending bill, which ran more than 2,000 pages, was rushed into place to avoid a government shutdown. He urged Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell to consider new rescission legislation with spending cuts sought by fiscal conservatives in the U.S. House. Short told NBC's Meet the Press, nobody saw the text of the bill within 24 hours because the process in Congress is broken, adding, we would ask the Senate to have patience and look at the packages that get sent to them. Some Republicans want a rescissions bill that would cut up to $60 billion in non-military spending, funds that were crucial to winning Democratic support. But reopening the bipartisan deal could divide Republicans during a midterm election year in which they are vulnerable to a Democratic surge. The party is already struggling against unexpected turbulence over House Speaker Paul Ryan's decision to retire. A rescission vote could also raise the prospect of another embarrassing Republican failure in the 100-seat Senate, which the party currently controls by a 51-49 margin. Republican Senator Susan Collins said on Sunday that she would not support a bill that unwinds the bipartisan deal. House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, whom Ryan has endorsed as his replacement, wants to use a rescissions bill to implement big spending cuts. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Shortly after creating a profile on OkCupid.com, local man Malcolm Lighty, a person with severe psychological and emotional issues, told reporters he thought it was best to just never mention the fact there was something seriously wrong with him on the popular dating website.
The thing about online dating is you don't want to get too personal too quickly. Like, for example, how I'm a textbook narcissist with unresolved intimacy issues, or the fact that I have no sense of empathy. Nobody wants to hear about that. When you're making a first impression, it's important that you keep it casual and don't include too much information. You don't want to be talking about your inability to maintain a relationship because of a history of violent mood swings.
Lighty told reporters while his OkCupid profile includes extensive details about his favorite movies, love of cooking, and interest in cars, he thought he was, quote, just better off not mentioning the borderline personality disorder that makes it impossible for him to connect with another person on any kind of meaningful level.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. Another week of fun and open phones here on the radio, where we'll take your calls about anything you would like to discuss. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we do have Skype. So if you've got Skype and you want to call us there and sound better than the phone, you can use Skype username lrn.fm. Just send a contact request. We'll approve it and you'll be good to go. And then also our Discord on-air call-in line room is available to you, which will sound even better than Skype. So it's your option how you want to get on with us. It's your option what you want to talk about, but we always bring things to the table tonight. Of course, we don't normally talk about the big headlines of the day. Not always, but sometimes you just can't ignore it. And here's one from Toronto, where 9 people at least now are dead and 16 more injured in a mass van striking. So, once again...
It's like the SUV?
Like the SUV?
Well, the SUV did this, the SUV did that, the pistol, fired.
Oh,
here,
I see what you're saying.
Well, yeah, so it's the Transformers or just running into people. and shooting bullets out of themselves.
Police say they actually have a male suspect after a white van mounted a curb in the city's north end, killing 9 people and injuring 16 others. Deputy Police Chief Peter Yen, this story, by the way, from CTV News in Canada, told reporters Monday afternoon that police, that's today, received multiple calls around 1:30 p.m. about a vehicle driving on Yonge Street, striking a number of pedestrians between a couple different avenues. They have the suspect in custody, and the van has been located, and people are dead. So are the people going to be clamoring for van safe spaces, preventing vans from going into downtown Toronto?
No, because they're going to say that that's ridiculous. You know, ultimately, that's what it's going to come down to. Cars are far more deadly than firearms here in the United States, but no, it's ridiculous, the idea. We already license vans and, whatever.
I mean, this compares. Like, this body count is comparable to many mass shootings, right?
Sure.
9 people are dead, 16 people in the hospital as a result of this.
Most mass shootings that go on have at the least one person or at least a group of people. Like there's, they're after somebody or some group of people. It's usually not higgly-piggly, not usually. Like if you were to take all the mass shootings in the U.S. and you were to make a Venn or what a pie chart of the ones where, somebody here at the very least was a target.
Yeah.
Versus
like the bullies at the school who picked on the Columbine
or the teachers or whatever it might be, wherever it might be, there's some set of coworkers.
But then you get the Vegas shooting. That's a random shooting.
The Vegas shooting is about as random as it gets.
I don't think that's necessarily random.
It seems random.
He was firing.
I mean,
maybe he hated country music fans or something like that.
He might have hated that demographic, and especially since most mass shooters, guess what, are leftists.
So he hates his own demographic. Because wasn't he an older white guy?
Yeah, but
that doesn't
we're talking
mean
about specifically country music fans.
Okay, so she's specifically talking about psychographics.
Because the guy shot up a country music concert, right?
But he could have been a leftist.
Most mass shooters are.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember the details on who that guy was.
Yeah, they
didn't tell us much about him.
That's a group with not an identity necessarily, but a group that is a specific group of people. It's not like shooting up a grocery store where everybody buys food. That is a specific subset of people. So I don't know that we can say that was necessarily untargeted.
Right. Unless somebody actually says something, though, about, I hate country music, I hate the fans of this country music artist, or I hate this country music artist.
Right, but they don't necessarily say, I hate this school, or I hate my job, but we can kind of infer that that's the case.
A lot of times they do, though, right? Like the Facebook, social networking, these killers will kind of telegraph to some extent in advance the targets of what they are displeased, with which they are displeased. Anyway, the police chief in Toronto says he wants to assure the public the rest of the city is adequately policed, as though the cops would have been able to do much of anything at all. I mean, by the time this guy's up on the curb and flooring it, you've already got some dead bodies on your hands, right? Even if there was a cop who happened to be on the street, on that particular, in that area while this happened, I mean, he'd be able to fire some shots, but ultimately you're still got to...
that bullets pass pretty readily through vans.
Sure.
Like, they just pass right through it. There's some glass on one end and a piece of sheet metal on the other.
And there have been stories where police have fired at a so-called assailant only to hit innocent people nearby within the last few years.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but you don't
New York City was one.
You're in a city.
Yeah.
You don't just start firing.
And you should
it's not okay to kill other people because you're trying to shoot at the van driver, you know?
And if you're close enough to get a clear shot, you should probably try to shoot, like, the tires
out.
Because that would stop the car as opposed to shooting the window, which is vaguely annoying to the driver.
Witness Al Shaker, who was driving southbound at the time, said he started going down on the sidewalk and crumbling down people one by one. Said he saw the vehicle strike someone with a stroller. The toll-free number here tonight is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. I mean, there's such a clamoring for the gun prohibition here in the United States today. And, of course, Canada, I believe, is one of those states that
Canada can't even keep their licensed drivers from running people over.
Yeah,
well,
most countries are gun-free countries. It's one of the reasons why it's hard to pick a backup country.
Isn't it true that in Canada, and we don't have Vincent on the show tonight, but he is actually originally from there, one of our sometime co-hosts. I believe Canada, you can somehow have a rifle, but not a like a one-shot kind of rifle or something like that, but not pistols.
They allow hunting, but pistol. What's a pistol for?
Self-defense.
Pretty much. Yeah. So you could use it against a bear or a cougar or something.
Yes, yep, sure.
But largely it's for shooting people, right? Like it's for large, mostly mammals that I can think of. There aren't too many flightless birds you're dealing with. Not many large amphibians. North America doesn't have really big reptiles. You generally don't shoot fish. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that's all the vertebrates. I'm going to go ahead and say that pistols are for killing large mammals, and usually that's a human being. Probably 99 point something cases out of 100. Sometimes you're talking about a cougar or a bear. I gotta say, if I'm doing some hiking out in the Rockies, I really would like to be able to have my pistol on me, and open carry.
Or at least a real rifle that's probably banned in Canada.
Yeah, I would like that too. But carrying a rifle sounds inconvenient compared to a pistol if I'm trying to protect myself from grizzlies and pumas.
So here you have it. Canada, a country with some pretty severe gun restrictions. You've got a madman barreling down the sidewalk with a van, killing, at least at this time, 9 people. I mean, it seems pretty clear that the problem is with killers. The problem is with psychopaths. The problem is with these, antisocial, violent people who, in many cases, get jobs in government. But this guy, we don't know where he worked at this point.
Well, he didn't do this through the state,
right?
So that's same thing.
But the point here is it should be pretty crystal clear. It's like, go ahead. If you think you can ban guns, you're crazy, because anybody who wants to get guns is still going to be able to get guns. But in Canada, it's easier to go ahead and get yourself a van. I mean, anybody with a driver's license can walk into Avis Rent-A-Car or whatever it is and get themselves a van and then go up on a curb and run people down. Any psychopath can do that. And there's nothing that's going to be able to stop that. I mean, really, what could be done to stop this from happening?
Yeah, I mean, so if your intention is just to kind of spray a crowd, you're going to be able to kill people.
Yeah.
If you're just kind of randomly or quasi-randomly don't have a specific target just to kill people. The problem is, for self-defense purposes, you kind of want to shoot like a specific person who's coming at you at that moment. That's more difficult to do with just random objects.
When you say that, random objects, what do you mean?
Things other than a pistol.
Oh, defending yourself with something else.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. Well, I mean, obviously people will arm themselves with other things that aren't random. They'll pick pepper spray. They'll pick,
but
Chinese
pepper spray
throwing
isn't
stars.
Really a great self-defense
No
weapon.
doubt. And it's not going to do anything against an oncoming van. More coming up here. 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Skype username is LRN.FM. You can join us on the radio. This is Free Talk Live.
What is it costing you in vet bills for that convenience of just pulling open a bag of
formulated, extruded, processed cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways?
How do you feed your dog to derive not only energy, but a good coat, bright eyes, and a great attitude?
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
I found his raw meat diet on Dynovite.com.
With just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dynovite and the Super Omega on top of it.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
Ground beef, white rice, eggs, including the shells, and the Dynovite supplement, and then the Lico Chops.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
It just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit.
Adding Dynovite to their diet has every single dog in my kennel looking better than they have ever looked.
Their skin is so much better now that they're on the raw diet. I don't even give them the kibble anymore.
DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. Zencash is a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by voluntarists for voluntarists, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
If you're looking for work, you know what I mean by elevator speech. It's the short version, saying just enough to make the listener want to listen more. Even if you're not a job seeker, effective communication skills have never been more important, with money and attention so scarce now. So to cut through the clutter, choose every single word as though it was the last word the person you're speaking to will hear. Otherwise, it might be. Instead of saying, due to the fact that, say, because. And avoid mispronunciations. Say jewelry, not jewelry, which could offend. Undoubtedly, you don't want to say undoubtedly. And whatever you do, never use a preposition to end a sentence with. Just kidding. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you'd like. Just dial toll-free here. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Anybody out there want to actually seriously call for a restriction on driving? Because there's already all kinds of restrictions on driving, but now you still have people running, in this case in Canada, 24 people down, basically? 9 people are dead. 16 people have been injured by some madman in a van. And are people going to be calling for van restrictions? The toll-free number again, 855-450-FREE like freedom. I do want to make sure you know about Zencash. If you are interested in cryptocurrencies, then you know there are 1,500 plus cryptos around the globe. Most of them are, very highly speculative, and to some extent, so is Zencash. But it was created by voluntarists, created by people who understand economics, people who love liberty, and it's got some of the best technology out there, like zero-knowledge anonymity. So if you care about privacy, you really need to be taking a close look at Zencash as a cryptocurrency that you can get involved in. Now, go and learn more over at zencash.com. And you'll learn that Zencash has more than 8,000 secure nodes, meaning it's one of the most secure networks of any cryptocurrency on the planet. It's one of the newest kids on the block, started back in 2017, and you ought to go and check it out over at zencash.com. As we continue here, Ian, Melanie, and Mark in the studio with you tonight. So, I don't know, there's really not much else to say here. Madman mows people down with a van on the streets of Toronto, running up on the sidewalk and just plowing over people. And it can happen again, and it can happen again, and no amount of government licensing and no amount of checking is going to be able to put a stop to this in the same way that no amount of government licensing and checking or just outright bans entirely would put a stop to mass shootings, people who want to kill other human beings. It just won't work.
So, I mean, I've heard people say banning guns is going to somehow stop mass shootings, and maybe mass shootings. I don't know about mass shootings. Mass shootings really aren't the problem. The problem is that, I mean, does it really matter to you? Really? Ladies and gentlemen, does it really matter to you if the person who shoots you shoots a bunch of other people at the same time? Or
no,
just decides to shoot you?
Yeah, it's a terrible crime.
It might bother me more if they shot a bunch of other people, because then people might try to pass gun control in my name, and that would really bother me, to the point where I wrote in my will that nobody's allowed to do that.
Melanie's law.
That's probably not upholdable at all, but it is there.
The only deaths that banning guns is really going to affect are probably suicides. And I'm of the opinion...
So more people will jump off a bridge
and
instead.
that you probably just won't do it. There's
You think somebody's more likely to put a gun to their head than jump off a bridge?
You're thinking of sober
you're talking about suicidal people here.
The evidence is...
It's not necessarily a rational thinking
The
process.
evidence is that people who are drinking are more likely to use a gun to blow their head off of.
Okay.
So people who are drinking are less likely to climb on the top of the roof or wherever, take a bunch of pills.
There may not be a bridge nearby.
And if you want to take away my self-defense weapons so that you can prevent some idiot some drunk idiot from killing themselves, terribly sorry, I'm not interested in your help. Thanks so much.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, I understand when it comes to suicide, it's a serious issue, and anybody that you care about, obviously you want them to get through it, not actually kill themselves, because life is worth living, and you can say all these things to a suicidal person, and hopefully they won't do it. But ultimately, someone who is driven to kill themselves is going to do that.
Somebody who's to that point, if you. You're not going to be able to talk them out of it by just telling them nice things. They need actual help.
You need to give them an MDMA pill.
You think that would help with suicide? I wonder.
My guess.
It would probably help a lot in the really short. It probably work as like a stabilizing mechanism.
It might. That's interesting.
It might. It's just an idea. But regardless of that, when you talk about, so for instance, London just recently became more dangerous than Chicago
because they banned knives.
Well, no, it's just, they banned guns some time ago. So you can see that.
They also have a knife turn-in now, apparently. You have to be licensed in order to have knives, apparently.
So, if you're trying to ban mass shootings, that worked in London, but you didn't stop violence. And, it didn't work on violence.
Right.
And here in the United States, if you were to remove the top 10 mostly Democratic areas... Democrats tend to be the ones that want to ban guns. The top 10 Democratic metropolitan areas, you would destroy gun numbers, just to decimate them. America would look so much more safe, and almost entirely in these places, it's not a gun ban, but it looks a lot like a gun ban. Right. Now, what they say is, well, we have to have bigger gun banning areas. Well, you got London to look at. It's just not an effective way to stop these things. I'm not saying you should add guns to make things more safe either. I'm not one of those.
I will say that.
You will say that. And I think that it's a good thing.
Because if you've ever defended yourself with a gun, then you obviously know that it can make things more safe. Right? There's millions of people every single year who successfully defend themselves with a gun.
There's many people, I wouldn't be able to tell you the numbers every year, that successfully shoot themselves in the leg, too. So you're not looking at those.
Right, but then
again, you're protecting protecting idiots at the expense of people who are trying to defend themselves.
I'm only saying, no. All I'm saying is that I think that the correlative data between guns and violence is pretty bad.
Right, okay,
if you want correlative data, let's talk about poor people. You want to drive down the rates of gun crime? Take your bottom 20% and shove them across the border to Mexico. Crime in America plummets. From a violent standpoint.
Well, that's not fair to Mexico to just give them all the poor people, but
take their top 20% of workers.
Yeah, well, you can do that, Mark, but then eventually other people will become poor.
We're only talking about correlative data here, okay?
Right, and that's not a very libertarian solution to
I mean, really, the only people.
Get rid of people you
the
don't
only
like.
people.
I'm only asking if you want to. I don't want to control the area that much.
Yeah.
I want to shoot somebody who's trying to harm my family. That's what I want to do. Boom, center of mass, dead.
Unfortunately,
That's all
you're
I'm
a felon,
looking for.
so you can't legally
No, I
do
don't
that.
have that, but I could grab a weapon that was nearby and use that.
So if the home invader happens to have one, you could, in theory, disarm
I could, in theory,
that person.
take them. But at that point, I probably wouldn't be able to use the weapon against them because they're not dangerous anymore.
Well, that's not true.
necessarily.
Someone who you just have in a headlock is not in any way neutralized.
If I have a gun, if I have taken their gun from them, they're much more neutralized.
Right, okay, yeah. So if you have a gun on them and they're surrendering, maybe you don't shoot them at that point. But that doesn't mean that then you're not going to have to shoot them.
Yeah, it doesn't mean they won't lunge at you or whatever.
That would be a bad move.
So the toll-free number, if you want to join us here, 855-450-FREE like freedom. We've also got Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. People, again, reacting to Madman driving into approximately 24 people in Toronto, Canada earlier today. You're welcome to comment on that. Or also, coming up, Melanie, you're going to tell us, and what I would consider a related story, that some interesting gun statistics from a study were hidden, apparently, by a certain government agency here in the United States.
One that's disallowed from doing gun studies.
We'll talk about that on the way here, and you can bring up whatever's on your mind. Plus, we got some cryptocurrency-related news on the way. Haven't talked about that in a while. And you can take control of the airwaves here. This is Free Talk Live. Oh, and apparently Penn State, their outdoors club, no longer allowed to go outside because of safe spaces. It's Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com. Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size for incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency. Get to goberkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. goberkey.com.
Free Talk Live.
Do you guys have a zombie plan? I'm just wondering what this country's going to do if we had some sort of apocalypse like that.
Like a zombie attack.
What are we going to do?
People coming out
like
of the ground, like in Thriller,
or,
like in Michael Jackson's
like 28
Thriller.
days later, like a virus or something.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, people don't come back to life.
Well, now, there are different kinds of zombies out there.
Now,
but let me go through the types of zombies. I mean, you've got the ones that can crawl out of the ground, right? And then she was talking about like an infection kind of zombie, like a la Resident Evil, for instance. So ideally, if you're going to have to perish at the hands of a zombie, which would be the preference? Would you prefer to have your brains eaten, or would you prefer to become one of them?
I think I'd rather just die. The last thing I'd want is, of course, the people you split up with. Then I'm talking my wife and my child. I'm coming back. I'm wanting to eat Laura's brains. It's bad. It's bad.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America. as well as sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Dial on in here and join us on the radio. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Or you can Skype in at Skype username LRN.FM. Joining you tonight, it's Ian.
Melanie.
And Mark.
We're talking about, initially it was a van, somebody driving a van in Toronto, running down approximately 24 people in the streets there. And then also how pointless it would be, of course, to try to ban vans or put more restrictions on driving, as though that would do something to keep psychopaths off the roads, which, of course, is the proposal when somebody goes on a mass shooting spree. Is there's always somebody who proposes banning guns or putting more restrictions on them in the belief that that's actually going to do something. But, Melanie, you had a related story about guns and the Centers for Disease Control, who did some kind of a study about them.
Yeah, so they have been prohibited from using federal money, which is the only money they presumably have, to study gun violence, and this upset all the leftists for several years.
Because the leftists will only believe a
government agency.
A government agency that does a study. I mean, anybody in the world that isn't the CDC and using government money, both of those things have to be true, can do a study on guns in this country. But God forbid you try to show that to some leftists, or the people on the right either that believe that guns make you more safe. I just don't believe that you can show sort of. I think you could sort of show anecdotal evidence, but I don't think you can show sort of societal evidence.
Well, but you don't call the cops when I chase some guy off with a gun successfully.
That's not evidence, though.
Him. Right.
It's true.
Right, but
it's just not evidence.
It's not as provable.
It happens a lot.
Agreed.
Too.
I agree. It's just not evidence.
Right. Yeah. So people have been upset about this at least since the 90s. Because that's when the study was done, because they're convinced, apparently, that it would show that, guns are unhealthy or something, is always how they phrase it, something like that, which is really odd to me, but whatever.
Guns can be really unhealthy for you.
But, yeah, if you eat them, I guess.
Yeah, it's a bad idea.
No, it's bad to, tease people who have them.
Okay, so what did this study find?
So it found that there is I can't find the number right. It was 8 times as many people use guns in self-defense as in crime.
Okay, very interesting.
The CDC found.
Yeah, no, that leftists are definitely not going to like that.
And, of course, this is something we've said on the air. I don't know if we ever saw a study to back it up, but maybe there have been other ones.
There have been private studies, but nobody wants to take those because they're biased.
Just out of curiosity, does this mean that 7 out of 8 times that a gun is used to prevent a crime, it is used against someone who does not have a gun?
That would seem the case to me, yes.
Because, could be. If a gun was used to commit a crime,
then it would be
and a
one-to-one.
gun was used to prevent that crime, then it would be a 1-to-1 correlation.
I see what you're saying.
Whereas this is people with sharp sticks, knives, nunchucks. I'm not sure what.
Or it could be one of those scenarios where you see the video and the guy thinks he's going to rob the convenience store, and 5 guys in the convenience store are telling him he's wrong. It could be one of those.
I suppose it could be, like 5 people to one, 5 armed people to 1 armed person. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, of course, there's the video of gun shop owners defending successfully their gun store from being robbed by a man with a gun.
Which is just the stupidest thing to rob. I don't know how desperate you have to be. I know, but why?
Well, some people just want to commit suicide, And
true.
There are plenty of gun owners that will help you.
But this is great news. And so they buried this study. You said it was back in the 1990s, and the CDC is, they're still trying to keep it under wraps. How did this get released? Do we know?
I don't think they said.
Yeah, it's interesting. Maybe the Trump administration declassified it or something like that. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me. And Trump has done some things that are worth talking about. That's definitely true. And I guess he's planning on meeting with Kim Jong-un at some point, which... When was the last time a sitting American president actually met with, the dictator of North Korea? I don't know. It's been a long time, I suspect, since that has happened. So you want to comment? You're welcome to join us here. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And the Skype username is LRN.FM. And was there more about that story that you thought was worth sharing?
Just the only thing...
There's an overwhelming number. 8 to 1.
Yeah, it was in the 90s. The only other thing I find important, because I didn't read the actual study, I just read Reason's report of it. There was... Okay. 2.5 million defensive uses of a gun per year
in the 90s,
some
you said?
point in the 90s,
okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'd heard. That's what I cited earlier, just sort of randomly throwing out the number millions of times. But again, you said that's reported, right?
I
you
don't
said 2.5 million
know
reported?
how I didn't read the methodology, so I don't know if they did ask people, did you do this and not report it to the cops? I would always assume that number is deflated, but we know 2.5 million.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to Anthony. He's in Virginia. So, again, 8 times as many incidents of successful defense stopping crime with a gun versus however many were actual crimes committed with guns. So, a tremendous difference there. Anthony, you're on Free Talk Live.
It's really crazy because if you look at France, Germany, the UK, they have really strict gun laws. And they're having the worst terrorist attacks we've seen since 9/11. Let's be honest. With Paris, but everywhere. It's just Berlin, the shopping mall incident.
Mm-hmm.
If we, the United States, take away our guns, I feel like the world and the United States as a whole would see an increase in crime, an increase of almost every single thing. Think about it. A terrorist or a bad guy won't sit around and look at laws.
No, the bad guy's not going to sit around and look at the laws, but he will look around at the place maybe that he's planning on robbing, and if he sees armed people at that place, that bad guy's probably going to think about other options. He's probably going to go somewhere where people are less likely to be armed.
And it does seem to be the case that kind of your random general criminal has some kind of idea
Awareness.
of what the gun laws are, or at least of what the preponderance of people being armed are, because they are more likely to attack a place or in a jurisdiction where they have gun laws than where they don't, even though if you have concealed carry and stuff like that, you don't know if this particular person is armed, but you know that they can be.
You know they can be, but beyond that, in New Hampshire, I can't tell you how many times I've been out. I've been here more than a decade now, and I've just been out and about and seen guns on people in real life. People I don't know.
Just saw it within the last, it was on Sunday.
Yeah.
So what's that, yesterday?
Yeah, that's
no,
yesterday.
I'm sorry. It was 8 days ago. Excuse me. It was not the last Sunday. It was the Sunday.
What was your circumstance?
Just at a diner.
Yep.
Saw a random person whom I do not know, and because I think a lot of people think that only the
These are
Free
your
Staters,
friends,
only the Free Staters do this or something like that. And I don't know that. I know a lot of movers for the Free State Project, and I don't see them carrying guns too often. So that is just
Many
not
of them
so.
Conceal.
Yeah. I'm of the opinion concealed makes more sense personally.
Well, it depends on where you are and what you have going on.
This guy had, that sort of twiggy-looking camo on.
Yeah.
So I'm.
But I'm saying there are situations in which I have deliberately open carried for a specific reason.
For sure.
So there are reasons for that, but
sometimes the guns I see are concealed guns, meaning that they normally are concealed, but let's say the person has unzipped their jacket. They're inside. I remember I was inside a Chinese restaurant. Somebody had their jacket unzipped, and their piece was flashing, right? Like it was pretty clear. There was another guy who actually was like unloading his gun out in a parking lot because there was a law at the time where you had to like unload the gun before you put it in your car.
Yeah, so it was a ridiculous, dangerous
It's a stupid law.
Yeah, that's gone now, thank goodness. But anyway, Anthony, other thoughts you want to share? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just look at Detroit or Boston or even D.C. or Capital. It's crazy. They have
Absolutely.
the richest gun laws.
Yep, it seems so correlative. Hey, thank you for the call tonight, Anthony. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And we've got Skype, so Skype on in here at Skype username LRN.FM. Whether it's gun freedoms or whatever you want to discuss, you can take control of the airwaves on Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
I tried other brands, but I came back to my Sunshine.
For the best hot or cold pain relief, get the best. Get a Sunny Bay heating pad.
Sometimes life can be a pain in the neck or back or shoulder.
And the best relief for that pain is a Sunny Bay heating pad. Did you know that the American College of Physicians said that one of the best ways to treat muscle pain is heat therapy? Sunny Bay heating pads are handmade with high quality, can be used at home or at work, and have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy.
Why take another pill?
Many people use our Sunny Bay heating pads alone and got rid of the neck pain.
Long distance travel or long hours in front of a computer can take its toll on your body.
See why our homegrown small business at sunny-bay.com has tried to help people just like you. Get your Sunny Bay heating pads at sunny-bay.com. That's sunny-bay.com or call 253-678-1361 for hot and cold therapy. sunny-bay.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way.
You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring Simon to their rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today. This is...
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait a minute.
Holy crap.
Whoa. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me? Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you're helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Join us right here. The number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Skype username, LRN.FM. The Discord on-air call-in line room is available to you over at discord.lrn.fm. And joining you tonight in the studio, it's Ian,
Melanie,
and Mark.
Bitcoin mining. You've thought about getting involved, but you have no idea what you're doing. If you know what you're doing, you're probably already doing it. So if you don't know what you're doing and you want to get involved in Bitcoin mining, you can just go to pool.bitcoin.com. You can choose to mine either Bitcoin Core or Bitcoin Cash. It is up to you which of the two major Bitcoins you want to jump behind, or do them both. Go to pool.bitcoin.com to get involved in that. Mark, you've got a miner, I believe, operating right now.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep.
I've got one that's doing Bitcoin Cash. I haven't checked on the numbers in a while.
No, I'm sorry. I'm doing Bitcoin Cash. If I wasn't clear, sorry. They're all Bitcoin as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
there's just different words that go behind them to distinguish which one is, the Bitcoins you're talking about.
I feel as though that in August of 2017, Bitcoin died, and from it was birthed two different competing Bitcoins. Bitcoin Core.
I feel like Bitcoin's a technology.
Bitcoin Cash.
And then there's two different, call them currencies in air quotes.
Some would call them forks. They're two different forks of the original technology of Bitcoin. But neither of them is what the original Bitcoin was. They're different. They're different. There's an argument that Bitcoin Cash is truer to the original Bitcoin.
That would be a true statement.
There's an argument, a strong argument for that. But it's still not the same thing as the original Bitcoin.
But Bitcoin Core is generally identified as Bitcoin by most of the wallets used out there.
Wallets,
so if you're talking to some noob and you refer to Bitcoin, then they're probably going to think Bitcoin Core. And I think most people are going to think Bitcoin Core. It's just that
they won't think about the words Bitcoin Core because that's not widely used. But it's a way to differentiate one versus the other. Whereas, like you said, they're both Bitcoin. So anyway,
you can also disambiguation is the best way to describe it.
You can get into Bitcoin mining, either type, over at pool.bitcoin.com. As we go to Dave, he's in New Hampshire. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Dave.
Hey, I did some checking and I couldn't see any indication that you guys had spoken yet about the Dash grant for the Portsmouth-based Anypay.
We had not spoken about that, and the reason why I haven't spoken about that, but now that you bring it up, it's open phones here on Free Talk Live, so now I have an excuse to talk about it, because I think it's very, very exciting. Do you want to kind of explain what your understanding of it is, Dave, and then I can kind of fill in?
It's somewhat limited, but the basics are the Dash, it's cryptocurrency, one of the top 10 or 20, I guess, and it has a sort of governance structure that's pretty well thought out that allows them to direct money pretty efficiently. And they have a process by which you can apply for grants of some sort. It costs quite a bit to apply. But apparently Anypay applied. It's the Derek J. from Derek J. Victimless Crime Spree.
That's right. Our former co-host here on Free Talk Live, one of my favorites of all time, Derek J. Freeman, and his partner Stephen are the folks behind Anypay, which is a platform to allow local merchants, brick-and-mortar places, to accept cryptocurrency in real life. So you've got like a tablet that's at the register, and it's got the Anypay app on it, and it allows them to easily accept Bitcoin or Dash or Bitcoin Cash or Litecoin or I think even Dogecoin. So several different options for the business owner and to allow their customers to pay with cryptocurrency. Anypay launched in the summer of 2017, so it's still relatively new, but they've been very, very doing a great job here in New Hampshire of reaching out to local business owners in Portsmouth, and we've done a lot of it with a local activist group here in Keene, and these are the two kind of hot spots for real-life cryptocurrency use. People who are into cryptocurrency, Many of them have never spent crypto in real life. They just didn't know it was possible or didn't have anything in their area that would accept it. And then when you come to Portsmouth or Keene, New Hampshire, it's like, here's one place on Main Street, across the street there's another. There's another a stone's throw away, and there's restaurants, and you can get your car repaired. In Portsmouth, you can do yoga. I mean, there's all kinds of different things.
My wife has done yoga for crypto. After we had a meal that we paid for in crypto.
And you went to jiu-jitsu, and they're taking crypto there now too, right?
Well, I was talking about in Portsmouth.
Oh, in Portsmouth. Okay.
I didn't go to jiu-jitsu in Portsmouth.
But in Keene, there's jiu-jitsu.
But I did sit and have some coffee at another place while she was doing hot yoga to disco music with a bunch of gay guys, and having a wonderful time. So yeah, you could do crypto. You could just do crypto.
So it's real here in New Hampshire, and it's really a lot of it's due to the fact that Anypay is out there and they have this app available for merchants. But Dave, you're referring to this proposal they made to the Dash, masternodes, I guess you want to call them. That there's this kitty of mining rewards that they have that they can allocate every single month to various different projects to promote Dash. And Anypay has made what I consider to be a very exciting proposal, where they're basically planning to take this New Hampshire outreach to the next level. To upgrade their software, obviously have more professional level kind of apps available for iOS and Android. And more importantly, do what I consider to be the killer aspect of this proposal. And it's already happening here in New Hampshire, and only in New Hampshire, is where you go. If you spend Dash, which is a competitor to Bitcoin, as you were mentioning, if you spend Dash, which is also known as digital cash in real life at a business in New Hampshire that accepts it, you will get Dash back. Have you tried this, Dave Ridley?
No.
Do you spend cryptocurrency in real life?
Yes.
Okay.
I use gift services, like gift card services, primarily. It's the main way I spend it.
Okay, so that's not the same, right? Like if you're buying a gift card online and then spending the gift card, the company doesn't know that you paid for that with cryptocurrency. It's a way for you to spend crypto, but the local company doesn't know anything about that. So what I mean is, do you actually spend cryptocurrency in real life, like from your crypto wallet to the wallet of a business in real, bricks and mortar real life?
When I can, but that seems to be fairly rare. Of course, part of that's because I'm such a tightwad.
Okay, well, there's that, but also
yes, Dave lives very frugally.
I gotcha.
Oh, yeah, because you can't usually buy like groceries. There's one gas station that takes crypto, but
is there? Which one?
I don't know, but it's apparently on the way to Pork.
No, they went out of business.
Okay.
Sorry, they no longer are taking cryptocurrency at that gas station because it is closed.
Okay, so then there are no grocery stores and no gas stations, so you can't.
That's correct. You can't pay your grocery bill directly with cryptocurrency, but there's a lot of things that you can do with it, and you can go out to eat. So if you do go out to eat, then if you choose one or the other, you can choose to pay with crypto. And if you pay with Dash in New Hampshire, whether it's to get your car repaired or go out to eat or whatever, if you're paying with Dash, you will get Dash back. Meaning that as soon as the Dash leaves your wallet and goes to the merchant, literally within seconds, you can watch your wallet, and some amount of Dash will come back into your wallet. So the reason why we hadn't mentioned that publicly was because, well, I'd been told not to. But since you brought it up, Dave, it's not a secret now anymore. Since they put it, this public proposal that they put up on the Dash network has that information in it. So it's just it wasn't being put out on Front Street necessarily yet, but now it is. And it can only happen in New Hampshire at this point. If they get this Dash proposal approved, at some point it may go global with this Dash back.
I was pretty sure that they already got it approved.
But no, not as of yesterday.
Okay.
I didn't look today, but it wasn't there yesterday, so it's probably not approved today.
Assuming that it is, I like to say that the crypto community is going to become the tail that wags the dog. Instead of the government telling them what to do, they're going to tell the government what to do. and this, to me, this is seeing the tail in New Hampshire hopefully get a little bit bigger.
I think it will. And I think that, first of all, the reason why they're not getting approved, I'd just like to add this in here. As you well know, Mark, you've been following this because you've done a proposal for Free Talk Live in the past, which we botched up the first one that we did because we asked for 12 months. And had we done enough research beforehand, we would have figured out that they don't like that. They like a 3-month proposal because they want to be able to renew or review it at a more often of a renewal rate.
So what Free Talk Live always did was a quarterly proposal for 3 months, if that
That's
makes
what
sense.
worked. But you first tried a 12-month, which
That's
is
correct.
what Anypay did here.
Basically,
They've tried a 12-month.
Amanda B. Johnson advised me not to do that. I was of the opinion, well, I'm Free Talk Live. We're nationally syndicated on 150 plus stations and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And ultimately, I'm dealing with amateurs, right? These people don't see the value because they don't understand the value.
Yeah.
And that's fine. You gotta pitch to your customer.
Yeah.
Don't expect your customer necessarily to rise to you, and that's that.
So I hope that Anypay gets their approval.
I don't
know if it's.
I
gonna
wouldn't put
flesh
my
out.
chips on that table.
They've only got like a week left, basically, of the voting process, and then they can try again next month. And I certainly hope that they do, because I think that this is where it's at. New Hampshire is. Go ahead. If you want, hang on, Dave. If you got more to say, New Hampshire is absolutely a haven for cryptocurrency. It's, I think, the crypto mecca. Personally, I would love to see somebody challenge me on that. There's more coming up here. 855-450 free if you want to join us. Free Talk Live.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, April 23rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.83 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,325 per ounce. Zen Cash is trading at $34, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,963. Antiwar.com reports the Islamic State bombers attacked 2 voter registration centers in Afghanistan on Sunday. The first and biggest attack hit Kabul, while a smaller secondary attack struck outside a center in Pul-e-Kumri in Baghlan province. At least 63 were killed and over 100 wounded. The Kabul attack left at least 57 people killed by itself. Identities are not available, but the site attacked was in the Shiite-dominated part of the capital. The Islamic State referred to the attacks as targeting apostates, suggesting they were trying to kill Shiites. This is common for them, as the Islamic State often goes after religious minorities. The second, smaller attack in Baghlan province did not actually hit the voter registration center itself. Instead, it was a roadside bomb which hit a vehicle outside of the center. A family of 6 was killed, and the Islamic State also claimed credit for this. Afghan parliamentary elections are currently scheduled for October 20th. The vote was supposed to take place in 2016, but was postponed over political reform questions. The reforms are still heavily debated, as they often are, and corruption-rife Afghanistan. Selling the public on the merits of registering to vote is going to be difficult if groups like the Islamic State start making those registration centers a target. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. They don't feed the banks, they're Bitcoin preferred, and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports Apple is offering free battery replacement on certain MacBook Pro laptop models following an issue that caused the batteries to expand. The replacement program extends to 13-inch MacBook Pro non-touch bar units manufactured between October 2016 and October 2017 that feature a component that may fail and cause the built-in battery to expand. Apple said the battery issue is not a safety concern and battery replacements will be offered free of charge at Apple service centers, retail stores, or by mailing the device into the Apple Repair Center. On the website announcing the replacement program, there's a field for MacBook owners to enter their computer serial number to determine if it is eligible for free replacement. Any customer who paid to replace their battery before the program was announced can also contact Apple to request a refund. The program is available to customers worldwide and covers the affected units for 5 years after the first retail sale, but does not extend the MacBook Pro's standard warranty coverage. Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io. Reuters reports Congress needs to consider rolling back the spending bill that U.S. Republicans brokered with Democrats last month because lawmakers voted to enact the $1.3 trillion legislation without reading it, according to an aide to President Donald Trump on Sunday. White House Legislative Director Mark Short said the spending bill, which ran more than 2,000 pages, was rushed into place to avoid a government shutdown. He urged Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell to consider new rescission legislation with spending cuts sought by fiscal conservatives in the U.S. House. Short told NBC's Meet the Press, nobody saw the text of the bill within 24 hours because the process in Congress is broken, adding, we would ask the Senate to have patience and look at the packages that get sent to them. Some Republicans want a rescissions bill that would cut up to $60 billion in non-military spending, funds that were crucial to winning Democratic support. But reopening the bipartisan deal could divide Republicans during a midterm election year in which they are vulnerable to a Democratic surge. The party is already struggling against unexpected turbulence over House Speaker Paul Ryan's decision to retire. A rescission vote could also raise the prospect of another embarrassing Republican failure in the 100-seat Senate, which the party currently controls by a 51-49 margin. Republican Senator Susan Collins said on Sunday that she would not support a bill that unwinds the bipartisan deal. House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, whom Ryan has endorsed as his replacement, wants to use a rescissions bill to implement big spending cuts. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
I recently signed up for one of these self-defense classes and brought along a camera crew to watch. Take a good look at this class instructor.
Thank you very much.
Boy, was he smooth. He tried to butter us up with flowery compliments like, good work, nice try.
Yeah!
But don't worry, folks, I wasn't letting my guard down for 1 second. Maybe he wasn't planning to attack me at all, but he could potentially plan to attack me at some point, and that left only one option. Take him out first. This is him. This is the guy. My quarry approached, and when the moment was right, I struck. Oh! I knew he'd be able to counter my every move if I just did what he had taught me, so instead, I did exactly the opposite. I beat him with a baseball bat. I am Shelby Cross! Do not ever attack me! Now, folks, I acknowledge that this man may have never been a threat, but a potential threat is just as dangerous as a real one. I don't play games with my life, and neither should you, and that's it.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Bring up what you want. Our number here, 855-450-FREE. like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We also have Skype. Skype username is LRN.FM. And it's interesting that Dave Ridley from RidleyReport.com happened to just call in to talk about cryptocurrency because I had some crypto-related news headlines that it's been a little while since we've talked about it. But apparently Bitcoin Cash has been on a bit of a run-up, and we'll tell you more about that coming up here in moments. You can bring up what you want, though, so let's go back to the phones. It's Ian, Melanie, and Mark in the studio here as we launch into the second hour. Dave Ridley from RidleyReport.com, you'd called to ask about this proposal made by a New Hampshire-based company called Anypay that is intending to get Dash, which is one of the cryptocurrencies in the world, one of the more popular ones. It was for a long time in the top 10. It's dropped out of the top 10 if you rank by market cap.
It's still
it's at like number 13.
It's still in the top 10 cryptocurrencies because many of the things that are in the top 10 are sort of like tokens and those sorts of things. Stellar Lumens isn't a currency.
It's not a token. That's a cryptocurrency.
Ripple isn't a cryptocurrency. These are the tokens intended to. And IOTA isn't a currency, really. I mean, these
it's for the Internet of Things.
Yes,
supposedly, but it doesn't exist yet in that form.
You're talking about automated transformations between refrigerators and like groceries. Like none of that really makes any sense. That's not.
Well, they're all considered cryptocurrencies that are on that list that I'm aware of. I could be wrong about that. Maybe there's an argument that Ripple's not a cryptocurrency, but they, from what I heard, it is open source, the Ripple. So anyway, regardless, Mark, it's still in the top 15 of cryptos, and that's only if you rank by market cap. If you look at actual use in real life in New Hampshire, Dash, in my opinion, is number one as far as when you see people paying with crypto in Keene, New Hampshire, where we live, and New Hampshire is this kind of crypto mecca. People are paying with Dash, and part of the reason is because of the new Dash Back program, which has been basically in beta testing mode. It's not really a public thing, although I guess it is now that we're talking about it somewhat here. Dave, you want to share your thoughts on because you called to ask us, how we felt about it or if we'd even talked about it, and no, we have not until now.
So I wanted to just kind of invoke the background on which this happened. As you know, a crypto whale, I guess, billionaire or multimillionaire or whatnot, moved to New Hampshire about, 6 months ago. Bruce Fenton. He's in the Portsmouth area, I think.
That's right. Yeah, he's the guy who threw the cryptocurrency conference in New Hampshire, the very first one ever that I'm aware of. He threw that, I think it was called Free State Blockchain, back in December of last year. In fact, Free Talk Live broadcast from that event. So, yeah, he moved his businesses here. Go ahead.
Also significant is the fact that Derek and Stephen run a store that refuses to accept U.S. dollars. I think that's more important than people are giving it credit for.
I agree. I mean, isn't that technically a violation of legal tender laws?
I doubt it, but if the authorities don't like it, they can always find something to get you on.
They certainly can. I've never read the actual laws that go around with legal tender, but my understanding of legal tender is you have to accept it for all debts, public and private.
It used to be that way. They've repealed it in part. I don't know how much of it they've repealed because they wanted to be able to not take cash.
Who?
The government.
Oh, okay.
So that they can take credit cards and debit cards and checks.
It still says on the cash here, this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. This was Series 2013.
It's a nice thing to write on your money.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah, it says a lot.
So it's just BS, is what you're saying?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think that basically it is an unenforced law, and if you wanted to open a store where you only took chicken eggs for transactions, that'd be fine, and no one would ever bother you.
It would make an interesting court case.
Work for 50 years, and you'd never have a problem.
That's probably true. And Dave, you also had called us. You gave us the heads up on the fact that Derek and Stephen, who run this little Bitcoin shop that you're talking about, where they only accept cryptos and no U.S. dollars are accepted, they also opened up a Bitcoin University, which is just a few doors down. And Derek J. told me he's been posting flyers around downtown Portsmouth offering basically seminars on how to do certain things, like get started with your first cryptocurrency wallet or navigate the dark web or different topics that they've put out there for people. And basically it's free to attend, but they accept donations, and they've gotten some very generous people so far who've ponied up a decent amount of money to attend these things. which is awesome.
I forgot to mention the other thing is that CNN just went and covered what was going on with Dash in Portsmouth.
Yeah, we actually played the CNN piece, which was I don't know if it was an intentional hack job or just they're just so ignorant. It was just the hosts of the CNN piece were just so incredibly ignorant on the topic of cryptocurrencies to the point where it was easy to believe that they were doing it on purpose, that they were purposefully being, misleading and confused.
Yeah, I don't know if I expect mainstream journalists to be experts in cryptocurrency. I'm not an expert in cryptocurrency.
No, I don't expect it either. But the guy who was hosting the show was a regular kind of money guy. He would host a money show on CNN. So arguably, he should have known some financial basics. And this guy didn't, he had gotten the definition of inflation wrong, right? Like he's
most colleges do that.
Right. So
yeah,
I wasn't impressed.
I think most people don't understand monetary inflation versus price inflation.
Including a guy hosting a money show on television.
Just because he's hosting a show doesn't mean he's right on any of the things he ever says.
Price inflation is inflation of prices. I mean, it's, no doubt.
That's not what we're talking about, though. Inflation is the inflation of the money supply, which results in a consequence, typically, of inflated prices.
But most people don't know that, including most economics teachers.
Yeah, I've got to say that I'm willing, that particular, like the fact that you don't believe what libertarians and, Misesians believe surrounding the term inflation does not mean that all your credibility is lost, in my opinion.
Sure. Dave, anything else you want to share tonight?
Not at all.
Thanks for the call. Dave Ridley from RidleyReport.com reporting on the various cryptocurrency happenings here in New Hampshire, which if you're a cryptocurrency user or fan, you really got to know about what's happening here. In fact, I actually have had in my show prep, I totally did not plan that call, but I've had here for several days a piece actually written by Bitcoin.com's news department, news.bitcoin.com, written just about a week or so ago, a couple weeks ago. Derek J. Freeman and Steven Zeiler founded what they claim is the first crypto-only brick-and-mortar retail establishment in America. So there's actually a full feature article here about the Bitcoin shop. And they say they stress the first and only in all of North America and South America, for that matter, the Free State Bitcoin shop. Visitors pay for merchandise with cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. If they don't have cryptocurrency, the store clerk can help them download and fund their first wallet because they've actually got a cryptocurrency vending machine right there in the store. And that's the only thing that accepts cash. So if you want to buy something in the store, you first have to go and change your cash into cryptocurrency. Then you can buy the thing that you want. The store, they check out using an iPad and a Square stand running New Hampshire-based free point-of-sale software, Anypay. And that is an important point I didn't mention before. Anypay, we didn't give out their website either. Anypay.global is their site. You can go and sign up for Anypay right now. That works. It's available to anybody who wants to use it. They're focusing their efforts on servicing New Hampshire businesses specifically, but it's still open to anybody that wants to sign up. And there is no cost to implementing it. They don't take a fee. So there's the fee that you pay to send your Bitcoin, or your customer pays to send the Bitcoin. But Anypay itself, they do not earn from every transaction. So it's really like a labor of love. It's like an activist project almost. I don't know if there's any kind of monetization plan for Anypay down the road, but it's an amazing product that they've got out there for people to use. They check out using this software at anypay.global. News.bitcoin.com caught up with Mr. Derek J. Freeman for an exclusive interview. Portsmouth, New Hampshire, hasn't been widely thought of to be a hotbed of crypto activity. It just might be, and it probably has something to do with the Free State Project. Yale doctoral student Jason Sorens basically wrote about a secessionist movement of the most personal sort. It wound up evolving into asking 20,000 freedom-loving people to build a political force in the state of New Hampshire, the live free or die state. Derek J. Freeman explained, quote, a large portion of the people who moved to New Hampshire in search of freedom are Bitcoin users. And we'll continue with what he has to say here in moments about the Free State Bitcoin shop, which is an amazing little shop. We've been there. We've actually broadcast this show live or done it from their shop. More coming up here. It's Free Talk Live.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
This is Daryl W. Perry, host of Free Talk Live. This November, I'll be running in the world's biggest and most popular marathon, the New York City Marathon, and I've accepted a spot on Team Innocence Project because I'm a passionate supporter of their work. Since 1989, 353 people in the United States have been exonerated by DNA testing, including 38 who pled guilty to crimes they did not commit, and 20 of whom served time on death row. The Innocence Project provided direct representation or critical assistance in 180 of these cases. With your help, the Innocence Project can help even more people who have been wrongly convicted. As part of Team Innocence Project, I am raising awareness about wrongful convictions and raising funds to help free the innocent. I've already paid the race registration fees. However, to secure my spot on Team Innocence Project in the New York City Marathon, I need to raise $3,500 by November 1st. You can support the Innocence Project and help me secure my race entry by going to run.freetalklive.com. Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper, FPP News, at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want. Just dial in toll-free here at 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Skype username is LRN.FM. And our Discord on-air call-in line room, you can join that. We'll get you on the air that way. Go to discord.lrn.fm. The call-in line room is the top one on the list.
Raising you wasn't all Skittles and unicorns, but you turned out pretty awesome. Thanks to Mom. Look, Mother's Day is coming. It's her big day. Mom's Day. It's Bouquets Day. Bouquets. It's short for bouquets, and these flowers are bouquing awesome. Moms don't want online sweatshop flowers that wilt in 2 days. Your mom deserves flowers from the Bouquets. Bouquets flowers are unique, and they're as special as your mom. They're freshly cut from Bouquets farms and delivered straight to your mom. So they last weeks,
not days. Books even has farms located on the side of a volcano. And I don't know why that's cool, but it is. They produce flowers that are so gorgeous that your mother will post pics of them and brag about you online. And because Books cut out the middlemen, you'll get amazingly fresh flowers at an amazing price. Show Mom how much you care. Send her artisan design flowers from the Books. Order today and get an extra 15% off when you use coupon code FTL. That's BOUQS.com. And remember to use FTL and save 15%. Books.com.
Awesome. All right, let's continue here. Of course, we'll take your calls about whatever you want to discuss. Our number again, 855-450-FREE. We were sharing with you a piece about the Bitcoin shop. The Free State Bitcoin Shop's getting national or international coverage thanks to the folks over at news.bitcoin.com. And in my opinion, they deserve it. I mean, this is a really unique store that they were inspired by, I believe, one over in Eastern
Germany?
Europe maybe, or Prague or something like that. I'm not sure
somewhere
exactly
like that.
where it was. But Stephen had seen this place in real life, and he decided he wanted to do something like that in New Hampshire, which is where they both live, and where there's this ongoing migration of liberty-oriented people who actually believe in freedom, libertarians, voluntarists, liberty-loving anarchists. They've been coming here, and that's the reason why we're in the studio. It's why we know you, Melanie, because you migrated here, as we did, as part of this movement. And if you want to learn more about that freedom migration, you ought to go to 101reasonsfilm.com. There's a great documentary film you can watch there. It's an hour long. It's free, and it really will give you a taste of some of the things that have been happening here. But anyway, Derek J. Freeman, who is was a former co-host here on Free Talk Live, he explained to the journalist over at news.bitcoin.com, he says, he's talking about the people who moved to New Hampshire in search of freedom. A lot of them, he says, are Bitcoin users, and that's because they know about the Federal Reserve. Once you know about that, and you know there's an alternative, it's pretty hard to reconcile your personal responsibility for its perpetuation. Now, what's he saying when he says you know about the Federal Reserve? Because there's probably people out there who don't have any idea what that is referencing.
So what that would mean to me is that the Federal Reserve is an organization that is quasi-governmental as opposed to governmental. They issue the currency. Most people believe that United States dollars, when they look at them, greenbacks, that these are United States currency, whereas this is a banknote based on debt that is issued by the Treasury. And so you think it's coming from the government, and it's not. It's coming from this group of private banks that have a deal with the government. Mm-hmm. And they, issue this currency. They issue it as debt. It is not in and of itself of value. What it is it's placed on the future earning potential of your great-grandchildren. And, it doesn't, after a certain amount of digging, you're like, well, this is just all very yucky. It seems very sort of, ancient agrarian society, slavery kind of. It smacks of all that stuff. I mean, when you're buying and selling the future labor of people that aren't even born, and then you're creating, at this point, $21 trillion in debt, and then you're going to saddle those people with that debt to enrich people today. Right, bankers and connected people today.
Politicians,
all
buddies.
That's really yucky.
Yeah, it absolutely is, but it's not unique to the United States. Let's just be clear.
That's what
central banking is.
Central
banks do is what they engage in is fractional reserve banking,
right?
Which is where they kind of just make up the money. So banks loan out money that they don't have, then you have to pay it all back. Is
that's
the
correct.
short version.
That's what fractional reserve banking is.
Yes. Now that's a little different than what the issuance of currency, but it's also used inside of that same process.
Because it is essentially the issuance of currency. When the bank makes a loan, they're creating it from thin air.
So banks, as far as I'm concerned, are subsidiaries of the Federal Reserve.
That's correct.
And they create a large amount of the currency.
You can't open a bank without being, completely subservient to the Federal Reserve System. You are part of the Federal Reserve System as a banker.
Currency is created, as you say, through fractional reserve banking, through demand-based, so through loans, by people who want.
Yep. They want the money.
They want the money, so it's created through loans. What the Federal Reserve does is through member banks, which is all of them.
All of them, yeah.
They offer this rate that they will loan the banks the money, at which they will loan the banks money, and then so your loan is based on this amount and a little bit extra and all that sort of thing.
Yep. And then as Melanie pointed out, the person who receives that loan has to pay back the full amount. But if the money came from nowhere in the first place, how over time can everybody end up paying back all of those loans?
So they can't. So there's more debt than there is money in circulation.
And there will be,
their
right?
money was in circulation. So every time somebody talks about, oh, this president increased the national debt, it's like, well, they're a horrible, evil person, but that's not why. Because somebody could get into office, spend no money, and the
debt would go up.
would increase.
Yeah.
If you took all the money.
Well, if they spent no money, then they would receive the income taxes that come in. They would spend no money, receive no money, and then the debt would go up. But the income tax is going to come in, and then that income tax could go.
That's not going to negate the.
It's still income tax still isn't enough to handle the.
No, the IRS itself operates at a loss. So no.
Of course they do.
But the income tax largely exists as a kind of red herring to inflation.
Okay.
But yeah, so if you took all the money that all the U.S. currency in circulation wherever it is, and also resurrected all the bills that got ate in the dryer or something, and used that to pay the debt, there would still be debt.
Couldn't pay it down.
Because the current U.S. currency is, I don't want to say that it's debt because it's not a legitimate debt in my mind, therefore not debt, but all currency is in the common sense debt.
That's why they're called notes, right? Because note is a financial term. Used as a financial term means that somebody owes you something. You have a note showing that.
Yeah.
Now, of course, originally the Federal
Reserve.
Reserve.
It's no different than your house note or your car note. Right. It's just a Federal Reserve note.
Right. And it's not that they owe it to you. It's just evidence that somebody's owed something somewhere, right? The
United States the United States government, the Federal Reserve is the issuer of last resort for the United States government. So they'll sell you bonds. They'll sell China bonds. They'll sell anybody who wants to buy their bonds.
But if they can't,
if for whatever reason not enough people are buying the amount of bonds that they want to sell, the Federal Reserve will
come in.
Is their obligation. That's part of the deal. Why they get to issue the currency is that they'll buy up the bonds.
They sure do.
And then of course, there's interest on it. And as Melanie said, you can never pay it off.
Let's continue here. We can talk about your money and the world of cryptocurrency, the Bitcoin shop. You can bring up anything you want as well. Take control of the airwaves here on Free Talk Live. Our number 855-450, free like freedom. You can join us.
Anytime, any place, anywhere. Radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want. Our number here is 855-450. Free like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. We're talking about cryptocurrency at the moment and the Free State Bitcoin shop, which is making headlines over at news.bitcoin.com. They covered them a couple weeks ago. I've been holding on to the piece here until tonight. We actually had Dave Ridley call in to talk about the shop and some of the other projects that former co-host Derek J. Freeman is now involved with, one of them being Anypay, which is a really neat competitor to the company BitPay, which longtime listeners know has been in the Bitcoin space for a long time and has helped a lot of companies accept Bitcoin at their point of sale. Anypay is a competitor, and I would say hot on their heels technologically. They're doing a great job over there. But they also run this Bitcoin shop, which is a tiny little one-room store in downtown Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And it is just the coolest little place. You can get all kinds of cool, jewelry, posters, books, all kinds of neat cryptocurrency-related products are there. But you have to pay with cryptocurrency. And we were talking about Derek J. Freeman's interview here at news.bitcoin.com, where he talks about how once you find out about the Federal Reserve System, and we went into detail on what that is, it's the government's central bank, semi-quasi-private central bank here in the United States that, of course, allows the government to inflate the money supply. And, of course, that brings prices up generally over time and makes your dollars that you have in your savings worth less and less and less. So one thing you can definitely count on with the Federal Reserve note and other countries' currencies from around the globe is that the value of it's going to go down over time, simply because politicians cannot be trusted to not manipulate the money supply. That's basically the purpose of the Federal Reserve, is to allow political animals to reward their friends and punish their enemies, and punish everybody else who happens to have the dollars that they print out. Because, again, it's the more they inflate, the less those dollars become worth. And that hurts you. That takes away your spending power. It takes away your quality of life. It takes away your living standard over time. And that much I don't think anybody can argue with. But if you'd like to try, the toll-free number here is 855-450, free like freedom. So Derek says it's hard once you know about the Federal Reserve and you find out about this alternative to it, the cryptocurrency world, where politicians are not in control, where for the first time in generations ever, basically, the people are in control of money. That's the difference between cryptocurrencies, besides all their security and the privacy and, all the other cool features that they can have.
That's what they were created for. That's what PayPal was created for, too. It's
For
just
what?
that the idea was to empower the lowest, the unbanked, to give the people to the ability to bank on their phones and
How'd
things
that
like
work
that.
out?
Well, it got co-opted.
It's because they used
How
dollars.
did Bitcoin work out?
Bitcoin's done great. I mean, it's at
It got
$8,000,
co-opted.
$9,000 per
I
unit
understand
right now.
you wouldn't be able to compare PayPal's success via the amount of one of their units because they use U.S. dollars or whatever.
Well, what's the PayPal
local
market cap?
I could check on that for you.
I don't know if that's easily available or whatever, but I mean, Bitcoin's been a tremendous success from top to bottom.
I'm not
it
claiming
started
that
at
it's
zero.
not, but Bitcoin's co-opted as hell.
You're talking about Bitcoin Core, so
well, that's what people call Bitcoin.
It is. But when you're saying co-opted, what you're saying is, and you're kind of talking about a very deep controversy from 2017. Where there's some programmers who basically could not agree on how to improve the original Bitcoin, and they had a disagreement, and they split off, and there's now two competing Bitcoins, and everybody's got their opinions about who's co-opted or who's not co-opted, but really it doesn't matter for the conversation that we're having here, which is to say that cryptocurrencies, of which Bitcoin is the most popular, whether you like its co-optedness or not, Mark, it's the most popular, it's the number one by market cap by far, cryptocurrency. Bitcoin Cash is gaining in recent days.
U.S. dollar is far more popular than Bitcoin, but we just went on an entire segment about its co-optedness.
Absolutely.
So
and,
just saying.
And it's got an incumbency of hundreds of, a couple hundred years.
So Bitcoin has some incumbency against its competitors, which are less co-opted.
But versus the dollar, cryptocurrency like Bitcoin is very, very powerful. It's very important. And the important idea to understand is that it is decentralized. And whether or not you like the Bitcoin programmers is irrelevant. It is a decentralized cryptocurrency that allows people to control their money more so than the Federal Reserve System, which is completely in the pocket and under the control of politicians. So if you don't like Bitcoin, then you can go ahead and get some of the other cryptocurrencies out there, like Dash or Bitcoin Cash or Monero, if you're really into privacy, or Zencash, which is also has privacy options as well. So there's plenty of choices out there, but many of these cryptos were all originally based, with the exception of Monero, were originally based on the original Bitcoin. That's what started it all. And the reason why Bitcoin became so successful is because it did what it promised to do, which was to say to allow people to send money without having to ask permission. It did what you said was the original goal of PayPal, which was to allow anybody anywhere in the world to have and use money without having to ask some central banker's permission in order to do that.
Yeah.
And
PayPal's mission was to allow people to do banking through PayPal. And the idea was that everybody would be able to do it, but obviously PayPal it was centralizized.
Yeah, they have to do their know your customer.
They basically are the banks that they were intending to replace now.
Yeah, absolutely. And so cryptocurrency is very important. So as Freeman says here, Derek J., he says, once you know about this and you know there's an alternative, it's hard to reconcile your personal responsibility for its perpetuation. And what he means there is, if you know about cryptocurrency and you understand why it's better, why it's important, why that paradigm shift of going from a government or banker-created money to money created and run and owned by the people, if you understand that, you understand that the Federal Reserve empowers bombings of innocent people around the world. Being able to print out money allows the government to go and fund the military-industrial complex, which allows the government to crush other countries' freedoms around the world and force everybody here in the United States to pay for it. You know there's an alternative. And so if you really do care about those things that you say you care about, if you care about being anti-war, if you care about money being, in the hands of the people, then you should do something about it. And you should adopt cryptocurrencies. Again, pick your favorites. There are different options out there. CoinMarketCap.com's got the top 1,000 of them or whatever they got, 1,500 or something like that. So you can do all kinds of research and learn about it. But, you've got an obligation if you really do care. And I think that's what Derek J. is saying here is you've got to do something about this. So they've started a store that only accepts cryptocurrency. And it essentially serves as an outreach tool. I mean, it's basically a 7-day-a-week, because they did finally go 7 days. They hired a manager now, and they've got somebody in there professionally, not just Stephen and Derek. There's an actual guy running the shop, which is awesome.
Okay.
Freeman, who's a well-known figure in the Free State Project, continues to say, quote, cryptocurrencies afford us the opportunity to not just withdraw our support for values we detest, but to actively support coins whose communities actively embrace certain values we share. So like I said, if you like privacy, then you should look into the privacy coins like Zencash or Monero. He says it's amazing, and anyone not yet benefiting from participation in these communities is missing out, unquote. Now, founded in the summer of last year, the Free State Bitcoin Shop is open 7 days a week. Though it's obviously a profit-making enterprise, Freeman notes it also serves as an educational platform. He says the number one thing
Nothing wrong with making money while you're educating people.
Absolutely. If you're doing a good job, people are going to pay you for teaching them things that they otherwise wouldn't have been able to easily learn.
As a matter of fact, that's kind of how school goes.
The number one, well, it's how it would go if school was in the marketplace.
Oh, you're talking about government school?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm afraid that they really can't claim to be educating when 20% of their graduates are functionally illiterate.
Yeah.
They're probably slightly better than entering your kid into some kind of street gang.
The number one thing, says Derek, is the number one thing we sell is the Bitcoin 101 class at the Blockchain Institute, where we teach people, or people learn how to get a Bitcoin wallet, how to send and receive Bitcoin, and how to back up their money safely. We also sell Bitcoin watches, Bitcoin mugs, Bitcoin pint glasses, hardware wallets, Bitcoin t-shirts, Bitcoin socks, Bitcoin books, silver rounds, DVDs, Enigma machines, books about programming and economics. And more than that, too. It's really great. We'll tell you more about their Bitcoin shop and their Bitcoin evangelism that they're doing out there in Portsmouth. Very, very exciting times. And, of course, New Hampshire is at the center, in my opinion, of the cryptocurrency universe as far as real-life use of crypto. And isn't that what we want? Don't we want people using crypto rather than just learning about it or maybe holding on to it? You got to spend it if you want it to be worth something, right? It's Free Talk Live.
I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
You have been lied to, generation after generation, time after time after time.
If you follow the money, then you understand why America's in the condition it's in.
You know, you created the Federal Reserve in 1913 through lies. You create 9/11. Through 9/11, then you're fighting a war on terror, and now all of a sudden you go into Iraq, which was another lie.
This book will open people's eyes. Pre-order now at killingunclesambook.com. killingunclesambook.com.
Fellow Patriots, my name is Todd Savage, founder of BlackRifleRealEstate.com. Like you, I was a prisoner of the alt-left sanctuary state, until one day I chose to lead my family to freedom. Today we live on a sustainable 20-acre homestead where we shoot, hunt, garden, and homeschool our children without the tyranny of the nanny state looking over us. If you're ready to flee the city to the freedom of Idaho or Montana, our Black Rifle Real Estate team is here to help. Go to BlackRifleRealEstate.com. That's BlackRifleRealEstate.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll free and bring up anything that you want. Our number here is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We do have Skype, and the Skype username is LRN.FM. We're talking about some friends of the show, former co-host Derek J. Freeman. He's got some international press coverage from news.bitcoin.com about his little shop they've got opened up out in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, which is the only one in all of North and South America that they're aware of, that anybody's aware of, that accepts only cryptocurrency at the point of sale. So if you want to buy something in the store, you see something on the T-shirt rack outside that you're interested in, and you walk in there and you don't know anything about cryptocurrency, you're going to learn something when you show up to this store.
I just wanted a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Now I've learned about cryptocurrency. Oh, Bitcoin. I've heard about that.
Yep. You end up walking out of the store with the thing you wanted.
So I can't pay U.S. dollars for that?
No.
I can't pay money for that? Well, what?
And they ask all the questions you know they need to ask.
That's what it's for. That's the whole purpose. It is an educational tool.
Yeah.
They don't care if they sell you a T-shirt.
No, they really don't. In fact, if you storm out of the store upon finding out that they won't take U.S. dollars and you don't care about cryptocurrency, then they really don't care if you storm out. You know, they're looking for the people who are open-minded. They're looking for the people who are interested in learning, and they find them. Day after day, person after person.
I'm sure they find some grumpy people that just wanted a T-shirt and, huff and puff and all that kind of other thing, as though that $1.50 that they were going to make on the T-shirt is really going to get me to change my mind.
In fact, I suspect that Derek J. and Stephen will be at ForkFest this year. They were there last year, and last year was the first year. I have not actually asked them directly, but there's a good chance you're going to run into one or both of them if you're at ForkFest, which is coming up June 14th through the 18th. It's at Rogers Campground, the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. It's just an absolutely splendid place to be, but it's even better when you're surrounded by like-minded, freedom-loving people who actually care about liberty. They're going to be camping there, and it's a decentralized camping event, meaning that there's no board of directors, there's nobody who's in charge of ForkFest. There's just several days, June 15th through June 18th. There's the location, and then it's all up to whoever it is that attends. As far as what's created, what is there to do? Well, that's up to you. If you just want to come there and hang out, then you'll be able to do that. If you want to have speeches, then you should probably figure out how to do that. You know, grab a PA system or set up a tent or whatever, and get together with other people and kind of work together on these sorts of projects. There's a ForkFest forum where you can connect with others in advance. Just go to forkfest.party. You'll find the forum link there. There's also a couple of ForkFest-related chat rooms on different chat platforms like Telegram and Discord. And so who knows what's going to end up happening. There's supposedly going to be some athletic events that Daryl Perry, one of our co-hosts, is creating. He's going to throw a party afterwards. There's going to be a wedding of a former co-host.
Do you have to participate in the athletic events to go to the party?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Anyway, there's also the wedding of Jay Noon, who's a former co-host here on Free Talk Live. So those are some of the things that are already on the schedule, which of course there is no actual schedule. There's just people who are saying what they're going to do. Now maybe somebody will create a schedule somewhere on some website. If so, I'd love to talk about it, but so far no one's done that. ForkFest, F-O-R-K, forkfest.party. It actually forked off from the original Porcupine Freedom Festival, which people call ForkFest, and that event will happen immediately after ForkFest 2018. So if you want to stay up here for 2 different Liberty festivals, you'll be able to do that. But again, mark your calendar for forkfest.party. It's June 14th through the 18th. And again, forkfest.party online to learn more about it. We're talking about the Free State Bitcoin Shop and the feature article written about it over at news.bitcoin.com, where they interview our friend and former co-host Derek J. Freeman. The article says here, the importance of having a real-world, flesh-and-blood place where the curious can come and ask questions and take a test spin in this new space is badly needed, says Mr. Freeman. He urges, quote, they've all heard about it from the news or a friend or coworker or family member, and they're curious. They want to know, is this thing real? Like, are people actually using it?
And people want somebody to talk to before they go putting money into magic internet money or whatever. And they want somebody to hold their hand a little bit. And that's really what they do there at the Free State Bitcoin Shop.
And they do a great job of it. He says, we get the pleasure of pointing out our huge map on the wall with flags sticking out at every one of the 22 locations that currently accepts Bitcoin in this town of 22,000. We designed and printed pamphlets that encourage people to take from we encourage them to take from a box on our front door. It explains how to get a wallet, and of course, they recommend the Bitcoin.com wallet right at the top, they say, and a map of the world-famous Bitcoin Tour of Portsmouth at worldfamousbitcointour.com. As an activist and content producer in the Liberty world, Mr. Freeman received a tip in Bitcoin after hosting a popular radio program, Free Talk Live, which, of course, is this show. It was his introduction to the rabbit hole that is crypto. He says, I loved this new kind of money, he stresses. He says, I loved that it was a digital balance on my screen, and I liked that I had a record of all the transactions in the network. I liked that it ran like a BitTorrent on my computer, always updating the ledger with all the other nodes on the network. And what he's talking about there is the blockchain, as they call it. This is the public ledger that is the behind-the-scenes guts of Bitcoin that it's copied in thousands of places all around the globe. So these nodes he's talking about, full nodes, they all have a full copy, which is like over 150 gigabytes right now. It's a lot of space. They have a full copy of every single transaction that has ever occurred on the Bitcoin network, going all the way back to the very beginning in 2009. And that, because it's copied in so many different locations and cryptographically checked against one another, it's immutable. If one person with their copy of the ledger attempts to change the ledger in order to cook the books or something like that, to make it look like they have Bitcoin they're not supposed to have, the other nodes will compare that and reject it. And that person's copy of the ledger is no good because it doesn't match the rest of the copies, the other thousands of copies that are out there in the world at the moment. And that's one of the reasons why Bitcoin is so valuable, because you basically can't fool it, you can't hack it, you can't crack it, you can't illegally, move Bitcoin from one person to another without their permission or whatever.
You can never pretend like you didn't do a transaction,
right?
Because it's right there for everybody, including the FBI, to see for the rest of time.
Well, Mark, that sounds like a really negative thing, what you just said there. But ultimately,
it's an accurate thing that people need to be aware of.
Yeah, I mean, it's true that, again, as I said, the ledger is public. But if you make a transaction that is not identifiably yours, then the FBI can see it, but they don't know it was you.
It's more like a Swiss bank account. But let's not forget that the amount of computing power...
Which the Swiss did actually eventually turn over all those bank accounts, so you thought you had a safe Swiss bank account.
Yeah.
And about 5 years ago, they narked all those out to the IRS.
Well, you can't trust the government. That's for sure.
There's basically a giant computer in Utah working for the NSA, and that computer, how much of that building that's just like a giant computer is right now mapping out the Bitcoin network and trying to figure out who made what transactions where by piecing together little bits of information. I couldn't tell you, but I can tell you I'm going to use Zencash from here on out. I think Bitcoin is great technology. I think it really made a great foundation.
Yeah, sure.
But it scares the bejesus out of me in the same way that I'm not going to go and do downhill ski runs in a Model T Ford.
Yeah, okay. Well, you're saying you're going to use Zencash, but the Shire Free Church, your church still has Bitcoin.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It has Bitcoin Core, BTC,
sure.
Correct?
Yep.
So, I mean, you haven't completely gotten out of...
It's not that I don't believe that other people are going to use Bitcoin, Ian.
Yeah.
I mean, to some extent, I manage an account for the sake of the Shire Free Church as an investment, and I am not yet convinced that Bitcoin is not a good investment.
Right.
I
Bitcoin's
am,
not
however,
dead.
convinced that it pales in comparison to other currencies out there.
Technically, it does pale in comparison, but it has the network effect.
That's true.
It has the first mover effect, so it's got a solid lead, even though that lead has been whittled away by its competitors. There's no doubt about that. Derek says he likes that he could participate in mining the Bitcoin by buying some equipment and configuring it to join the network of miners. He liked that it was this new kind of money was being circulated among his friends. He says, I liked it that it afforded me the opportunity to use a money that wasn't created and controlled by the Federal Reserve. I like that it empowers people like me to opt for a more peaceful world by withdrawing support for empire building and endless wars. I think that's such an important point. And it's one of the reasons why Bitcoin and spreading cryptocurrency is part of the mission of my, the Shire Free Church. What I do with the church, one of the things I do besides doing radio outreach is spreading Bitcoin with Bitcoin vending machine operations here in Keene, and spreading Bitcoin to local business owners. I'm going down to a local business, actually two of them tomorrow, to kind of get them up to speed on some of the changes. I think one of them's going to come on board with Bitcoin Cash. That was his interest. I didn't pitch that to him. He told me he wanted to get some Bitcoin Cash acceptance going on, so I'm going to help him with that too. But the idea is to every single dollar you can take and turn into cryptocurrency and hold on to is a dollar less that you have in your possession, and that means one fewer dollars that is, your responsibility for funding these wars. Like, the more you use these dollars, the more of a kind of blood you have on your hands to some extent. And the fewer dollars you have, the more cryptocurrency you have. Now, I'm not saying you should get rid of all of your U.S. dollars at this point. It's hard to live life without them, but some people have done that. More coming up here. Free Talk Live.
I tried other brands, but I came back to my Sunshine.
For the best hot or cold pain relief, get the best. Get a Sunny Bay heating pad.
Sometimes life can be a pain in the neck or back or shoulder.
And the best relief for that pain is a Sunny Bay heating pad. Did you know that the American College of Physicians said that one of the best ways to treat muscle pain is heat therapy? Sunny Bay heating pads are handmade with high quality, can be used at home or at work, and have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy.
Why take another pill?
Many people use our Sunny Bay heating pads alone and got rid of the neck pain.
Long distance travel or long hours in front of a computer can take its toll on your body.
See why our homegrown small business at sunny-bay.com has tried to help people just like you. Get your Sunny Bay heating pads at sunny-bay.com. That's sunny-bay.com, or call 253-678-1361 for hot and cold therapy. sunny-bay.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, April 23rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.83 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,325 per ounce. Zen Cash is trading at $34, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,963. Antiwar.com reports the Islamic State bombers attacked 2 voter registration centers in Afghanistan on Sunday. The first and biggest attack hit Kabul, while a smaller secondary attack struck outside a center in Pul-e-Kumri in Baghlan province. At least 63 were killed and over 100 wounded. The Kabul attack left at least 57 people killed by itself. Identities are not available, but the site attacked was in the Shiite-dominated part of the capital. The Islamic State referred to the attacks as targeting apostates, suggesting they were trying to kill Shiites. This is common for them, as the Islamic State often goes after religious minorities. The second, smaller attack in Baghlan province did not actually hit the voter registration center itself. Instead, it was a roadside bomb which hit a vehicle outside of the center. A family of 6 was killed, and the Islamic State also claimed credit for this. Afghan parliamentary elections are currently scheduled for October 20th. The vote was supposed to take place in 2016, but was postponed over political reform questions. The reforms are still heavily debated, as they often are in corruption-rife Afghanistan. Selling the public on the merits of registering to vote is going to be difficult if groups like the Islamic State start making those registration centers a target.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. They don't feed the banks, they're Bitcoin preferred, and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports Apple is offering free battery replacement on certain MacBook Pro laptop models following an issue that caused the batteries to expand. The replacement program extends to 13-inch MacBook Pro non-touch bar units manufactured between October 2016 and October 2017 that feature a component that may fail and cause the built-in battery to expand. Apple said the battery issue is not a safety concern, and battery replacements will be offered free of charge at Apple service centers, retail stores, or by mailing the device into the Apple Repair Center. On the website announcing the replacement program, there's a field for MacBook owners to enter their computer serial number to determine if it is eligible for free replacement. Any customer who paid to replace their battery before the program was announced can also contact Apple to request a refund. The program is available to customers worldwide and covers the affected units for 5 years after the first retail sale, but does not extend the MacBook Pro's standard warranty coverage.
Are you looking for a cryptocurrency that has a focus on users and usability? Then look into Zencash. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io.
Reuters reports Congress needs to consider rolling back the spending bill that U.S. Republicans brokered with Democrats last month because lawmakers voted to enact the $1.3 trillion legislation without reading it, according to an aide to President Donald Trump on Sunday. White House Legislative Director Mark Short said the spending bill, which ran more than 2,000 pages, was rushed into place to avoid a government shutdown. He urged Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell to consider new rescission legislation with spending cuts sought by fiscal conservatives in the U.S. House. Short told NBC's Meet the Press, nobody saw the text of the bill within 24 hours because the process in Congress is broken, adding, we would ask the Senate to have patience and look at the packages that get sent to them. Some Republicans want a rescissions bill that would cut up to $60 billion in non-military spending, funds that were crucial to winning Democratic support. But reopening the bipartisan deal could divide Republicans during a midterm election year in which they are vulnerable to a Democratic surge. The party is already struggling against unexpected turbulence over House Speaker Paul Ryan's decision to retire. A rescission vote could also raise the prospect of another embarrassing Republican failure in the 100-seat Senate, which the party currently controls by a 51-49 margin. Republican Senator Susan Collins said on Sunday that she would not support a bill that unwinds the bipartisan deal. House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, whom Ryan has endorsed as his replacement, wants to use a rescissions bill to implement big spending cuts. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Well, it's the end of an era and the beginning of a new one.
Today, Pennington's black part of town moved across the river to North Pennington. The Thompson family sold their home on the east side and moved to the old Kirkland Place at 17 Mansfield Place, establishing the all-new black neighborhood. North Side residents are looking forward to the infusion of fun and funk that the new black part of town is sure to bring to their area. Mayor Mitzi Kranowitz presided over the dedication of the new black neighborhood, unveiling a sign designating it a landmark district.
It's lovely, everyone. Pennington's diversity is its strength, whether it's Little Harlem or the so-called Gayborhood, where Paul and his partner Bryant have that cottage.
Sheriff Stevens today announced that the heavy round-the-clock patrols that helped make the old Thompson house one of the safest neighborhoods in town will move with them.
This has nothing to do with the black part of town moving here. We just want to make sure that everyone here has a comfortable place to live.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You dial toll free. Join us right here. Bring up anything that's on your mind. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Sharing a pretty cool story about our friend Derek J. Freeman, longtime co-host formerly on Free Talk Live. He doesn't live around here anymore. He lives in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. So he's all the way on the other side of this relatively small state.
all the way on the other side of a thin, long, small state.
2+ hours to get out to Portsmouth.
It doesn't look that way on the map.
What, it looks shorter, you mean, than
Well, yeah. I mean, by anyone's standard who's anywhere but northern New England, everything in New Hampshire is close to everything else in New Hampshire.
That's true because, like where we come from in Florida, almost every street is straight. Whereas here, if you're going from point A to point B, it's usually some sort of winding
There is no
road.
straight street,
Yeah. So with you tonight, by the way, it's Ian.
Melanie.
And Mark.
So the story's from news.bitcoin.com. It's about Derek J. Freeman and Steven Zeiler and their Bitcoin shop that they opened up in the summer of 2017 that is the only place in North and Central and South America that is cryptocurrency only. You cannot pay with dollars at this store. They won't take them from you. So they don't want your sale that bad. In fact, Derek J. is pointing out that for him, it's about peace. It's about keeping money out of the hands of the state, not using the state's money, avoiding use of that and using cryptocurrency instead is an empowering thing. That's the argument that he's making here. He says it empowers people like me to opt for a more peaceful world by withdrawing support for empire building and endless wars. So again, the story here from news.bitcoin.com. News.bitcoin.com asked how the immediate community has received the Bitcoin shop. Derek says, quote, "They love it. We've become fast friends with dozens of businesses who we've helped accept cryptocurrency. We've sponsored local theater on multiple occasions as patrons of the arts. One of our neighboring shops and one of Portsmouth's most beloved stores, Pickwick's Mercantile, gave us the idea to coin Portsmouth as a Bitcoin village. We regularly host popular meetups where people come to level up their Bitcoin knowledge and grow the network of Bitcoin users and businesses. Even the local government has been warm and welcoming. A city councilor was one of our earliest customers. The police have politely checked in when they saw us moving store furniture at night. And just yesterday, the parking enforcer popped into the shop to let me know I'd forgotten to put my ticket on the dash. It's that kind of quaint New England town. We love our neighbors and aim to make them proud." He responded eagerly. So that's the story from news.bitcoin.com. I'm really excited about what those guys are doing out there. I would love to see it duplicated. You know, like, obviously, only Derek J. and Steven can have the touch that they have, right? Like, you know, I mean, there's plenty of gay guys out there, but there's only going to be one Free State Bitcoin shop that looks like theirs does. Sure. Unless, of course, they also are the ones who are expanding to other cities. Then in that case, I would expect it to look similar. But it's such a cool, quaint little shop. And Mark, you and I, we've broadcast from that location on, I believe, 2 occasions at this point now, because we did it for their grand opening, and we did it on one other occasion. It was right before the Bitcoin. Oh, you weren't there for that. It was right before the Bitcoin convention. So we did an episode, Daryl and I did an episode from and Chris Reitman, I think, was there for it. Did an episode right before the Bitcoin convention that happened, the first one ever in New Hampshire back in December. So we have been told we're going to be welcomed to broadcast again at their upcoming grand opening, whenever it is, for their Bitcoin university that they've got going on there, where they're doing classes every single week, from what I can tell, on how to use cryptocurrency, how to get set up with a Bitcoin wallet, things like that. Even classes about the darknet. I mean, they're really covering a wide range of techno topics. Yeah. So kudos to them for doing that. I think it's awesome. In other cryptocurrency-related news, Bitcoin Cash is making headlines again after making an initial splash back in August of 2017 when the very first fork happened in the world of Bitcoin, where the original Bitcoin basically died and sort of birthed two different competing cryptos. And since then, there's been something like 69 forks in Bitcoin.
I bet it keeps going.
Or something like that. So, I mean, it's hard to keep track of it all. But ultimately, the two big players in the Bitcoin world are Bitcoin Core and Bitcoin Cash. And Bitcoin Cash, according to Yahoo News and Bloomberg, is the hottest cryptocurrency around right now for more reasons than you may imagine, it says. The offshoot, the biggest digital token, has surged about 25% since Friday, in part since Antpool, which is one of the largest mining groups, is so-called burning a portion of the coins that it receives in exchange for solving the complete mathematical puzzles that serve as the backbone of the network, potentially reducing supply and driving up the value. Have you heard anything about this?
Yes.
What is going on? Why is this company just throwing money down a hole?
I would guess because they want to increase the value of Bitcoin Cash, the same that lots of folks do.
The maneuver is the latest salvo in an escalating battle between backers of Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, which was spun off last year. Though a war of words playing out on Twitter and Facebook, or through a war of words, some of the largest holders of both cryptocurrencies are attempting to influence the coin's prices after seeing significant losses since last year. Antpool has burned $12 worth, well, not a whole lot, but $12 worth of Bitcoin Cash a day, says Kyle Samani, managing partner at the Austin, Texas-based crypto hedge fund Multicoin Capital, in an email. I thought they were burning like 12 Bitcoins worth or something like that. Maybe somebody can check that, because a lot of time the news gets their facts quite wrong when it comes to cryptocurrency. I mean, I can't imagine that there would be anyone writing a headline about this, because the headline of this story is miners burning off Bitcoin Cash adds fire to PR battle with Bitcoin. I mean, is it really worth writing a headline if somebody's burning $12 worth of cash every single day? I mean, for these miners, that's chump change. If they're burning 12 Bitcoin Cash worth of Bitcoin, then that's a whole other story. Now you're talking about what? Bitcoin Cash right now worth about $1,500 per unit.
Yeah, probably a little less than that, but yeah.
So you're talking about burning almost $20,000 every single day. Now that's a little bit more newsworthy. So I'm going to call question on that $12 claim. And if anybody wants to check that claim, sure would appreciate it. Toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Antpool, whose users' computers confirm 8.2% of all the Bitcoin Cash transactions, announced April 20th on Twitter and Facebook that it will voluntarily burn 12%. Oh, okay, here you go. 2 paragraphs. The number's completely different from one paragraph to the next. The first paragraph, it's $12, and then it's 12%. And 12% is significant. These guys are mining a lot of Bitcoin Cash. The mining outfit...
By burning it, we mean sequestering it so that we can get it later.
Well, they claim that they are burning it by sending it to what they're calling a black hole address. So, I mean, you could be right, Mark. They could be lying and actually they secretly have access to this.
I don't think they are, but yeah.
But anyway, Bitcoin Cash has the advantage of lower transaction fees and faster transaction times. I don't think that's true. It does tend to have lower transaction fees, but Bitcoin Cash was based on the original Bitcoin, so its transaction confirmation times are the same as Bitcoin Core. The original Bitcoin was 10 minutes average per confirmation, and that's still true with Bitcoin Cash. According to some so-called expert who's obviously wrong, this guy also says, quote, now projects like Bitcoin Cash are struggling to remain relevant, which is hard when very few users are using the network. Miners have to liquidate their holdings regularly to pay for their expenses. The move from Antpool is intended to slow down further price depreciation by attempting to increase the perception of scarcity. Whether the move will be successful remains to be seen. Now, I don't personally think it is going to matter at all. I mean, if they're throwing away some of their Bitcoin Cash, I don't think that's really going to move the price one way or another. It seems like the world
price is on fire.
Yeah.
It's up like 20% in the last 36 hours.
Sure, but it's not because they're throwing some Bitcoin Cash down a hole.
It got them some news.
I don't buy that. There's a lot of reasons why these prices do what they do.
A lot of the reason that prices, reach their equilibrium has to do with a catalyst news story, though. And this may be it.
The number of Bitcoin Cash transactions per day has roughly doubled since August when the coin made its debut. According to bitinfocharts.com, the number of daily Bitcoin Core transactions is actually down from last August levels, which is why it's no longer insanely expensive to send Bitcoin Core. The BTC Bitcoin it used to be as much as $30 per transaction in late 2017, and it's now come down. The last transaction I did with Bitcoin Core was a 40-cent fee, which is still way more than it should be. And Bitcoin Cash, on the other hand, usually has like 2-cent, 3-cent fees. There's more coming up. Of course, Dash is even lower than that. It's Free Talk Live.
From the second letter of Captain Mark. Any pirate knows that commerce is communication. Markets condense oceans of information into a single price. Innovations in communication are circumventing the scrutiny of the crown. This signals a change in the coin of the realm. The crown uses digital currency to surveil, censor, seize, and destroy wealth at will, so pirate currency must protect us from this weaponized money. We need to move funds further, faster, cheaper, and without third-party observation, basing decisions on an accelerating flow of information. So pirates require nearly instantaneous transactions with no arbitrary limits on volume or artificial influences on fees. Most importantly, a pirate currency must preclude centralization. Otherwise, it will become another link in our chain to the crown. A superior currency will result in the obsolescence of the coin of the realm and the extinction of the crown itself. Trade above the grid. Join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. Zencash is a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by voluntarists for voluntarists, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can dial in here toll free. Bring up whatever you want. Our number 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. And in addition to that, you can reach out to us on the Discord on-air call-in line room. Just go to discord.lrn.fm and jump into the first room there. It's the on-air call-in line. Make you sound great when you're on the air with us, almost like you're sitting here in the studio. With you tonight, by the way, it's Ian,
Melanie,
and Mark.
And Melanie, you are a tax professional. You help people who want to hire a real anarchist to do their taxes, somebody who truly hates the state and is going to do everything you possibly can. You have a lot of knowledge on the tax laws, on how to help people get as much money back from the government or to stop them from paying as much as they possibly can to the government in the first place. And you can help people. You're obviously still in the midst of that. It is, for those who have filed extensions and such, they've still got to get taxes done this year. Are you still helping people out right now?
Yeah, so I still have a few people with extensions out. I have people that I do bookkeeping for on a monthly or quarterly basis, which is really just tax planning, because most people can add and subtract, but they don't know where they need to move things and
for deductions and things like
Yes.
that. And you know where and how to do this stuff. So if folks want to hire you to do bookkeeping for their small business, they can reach out directly to you through tax.freetalklive.com. That's a web URL that forwards you straight to Melanie's website. It's tax.freetalklive.com. And of course, obviously, you do tax preparation and such, although that's probably going to be, winding down somewhat for you here in 2018 at the moment.
Yeah, so if you haven't contacted anybody yet, you probably don't have an extension out. So you probably already did your taxes, or maybe you didn't, and you're getting letters and you need to do them.
So you can do the after-the-fact stuff, too. If somebody's hasn't paid in a while and the IRS is coming at them, you can help them with getting all that up to speed.
Yes.
Okay. Reach out to Melanie at tax.freetalklive.com. So, there's not really a whole lot more to say here on the Bitcoin war that apparently is still going on. The article actually from Bloomberg mentions that apparently the Bitcoin Twitter account got shut down recently and then got restored, but had lost hundreds of thousands of followers. And so there's this ongoing drama online between people who support certain cryptocurrencies, and it's very kind of, it's almost like sports team-esque to some extent, and it's tiring, it's annoying, and it seems really kind of pointless to me. Look, if your cryptocurrency is useful, then use it. Get out there and use it. What's that? You can't do that where you live? Oh, well, maybe you aren't living in the right place. We've got a bunch of opportunities to use cryptocurrency here in New Hampshire. And the reason why, as Derek J. Freeman had pointed out in the article at news.bitcoin.com earlier, is because of the migration of liberty-minded people who've come here who are also activists who have done what it takes, which is to say, talk to business owners. Ask them when you go into a business, hey, do you guys take cryptocurrency here, like Bitcoin? Just throw that out at the cash register. The person running the register may not be the manager, may not be the store owner, but maybe the word will get up the chain at some point that people are asking about it. And every now and then when you're dealing with a mom and pop kind of business, there's a good chance you are talking to a manager or the owner themselves, because in a lot of cases, the owner wants to work at their business because they don't have to pay staff because, staffing is
expensive.
The most expensive part of.
Don't forget the fact that staff are, a big pain. Like they don't show up when they're supposed to show up. They come in with problems. They're hungover.
The government rules you have to obey.
Boyfriend or girlfriend dump them, or whatever the issue might be.
Right. There's always something going on. Especially the larger the staff you have, the more likely you're going to encounter things like that. So, asking questions of business owners. Hey, do you take cryptocurrency here, like Bitcoin? A lot of times they're going to look at you blankly and never have heard of it. Sometimes they will have heard of Bitcoin. They don't know anything about it. And so, we've got people here. We've got outreach tools. We've got cards with information on it about cryptocurrency. We've got a website that people can go to locally to show them where they can go to spend cryptocurrency in real life. We do outreach campaigns here in Keene and in Portsmouth to connect people with cryptocurrency, to answer their questions. We've got a local meetup group where a lady showed up at the meetup this weekend. She brought a Ledger wallet, which is one of those hardware wallet devices, and she wanted some help getting that set up. So
you guys helped them.
I helped
her.
And another gentleman assisted a little bit as well. And I wanted to help because I'd never actually gone through the process, right? Like, I'll help you through it. I don't know exactly what it's going to be like, but, I'm familiar enough with technologies. Yeah, I'm familiar enough with technology to where I can get through it. And there were some bumps in the road to where if this lady had tried to do it by herself at her home, she probably would have been quite frustrated and flummoxed with it. It wasn't, press one button and you're set up. There were some things where even I was like, huh? Because it was like you had to press two buttons at the same time to do an input, and it didn't really tell you that you had to do that, and so it just kind of was experimenting and got that to work. So it wasn't the most straightforward process, not as easy as it could be. And that's kind of where we are in the world of cryptocurrency right now, is we're at a place where we're about a decade in as far as technology and development, and it's 9 years now that Bitcoin's been around, a full 9 years. But yet there's still some bumps in the road. There's still some difficulties, like last year when the Bitcoin fees were going crazy, or with some of these wallets not being fully compatible with all the different Bitcoin address formats. I mean, it's a growing world, the world of cryptocurrency. It's a developing world that is constantly changing. And so there is a bit of a learning curve that's associated with it. It's not like, it's close to plug and play easy, but to some extent, it's better if you still have some familiarity with technology, I would say. Because if you're like a total noob to technology, you're going to have it could be a frustrating experience to getting into cryptocurrency, depending.
If you could you could go down some blind alleys, I think.
Yeah.
But there's plenty of tech out there to make it easy for you at the same time.
Well, like I said, it's easier now than it was. But to somebody who's coming in blind, to somebody with no experience whatsoever, there's still going to be some confusion. And we're just not quite there yet. You've still got confusing-looking addresses with a bunch of letters and numbers as far as what your wallet address is and such. And it can be a little overwhelming for folks. So it's nice to be able to have somebody that they can turn to and ask questions. And sit down with a group of people and throw out a question and get different answers. Because there's not necessarily one right answer. Well, how can I get out of Bitcoin? How can I sell the cryptocurrency that I have? Now, this is a big question. It's a question that a lot of people want to know. And, the first thing I always say is, well, are you sure you want to do that? Because a lot of people have regretted it. A lot of people have sold their cryptocurrency and then later on kicked themselves over it because 2 years, 3 years later, it's 10 times the value of what it was when they sold it. Now, it may have gone up 10 times since they had purchased it. They may have actually done fine at the point at which they sold it, but almost always they will kick themselves later because you look at the charts of cryptocurrencies over the years, they've tended to go up. Are they in a slight downswing at the moment? Yeah, but they're coming back up.
Yeah, they're on the upswing from that downswing.
Yeah, so it's all over the place. Anyway, it's fun to watch. It's interesting, and the developments keep coming. It keeps getting easier, I think, for people to get into this stuff. Anyway, the toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Coming up here, we're going to change gears and get into a story about marriage here on Free Talk Live and the ages at which people are getting married. It's Free Talk Live.
Frustrated trying to get business capital? Want to take the slow process and rejection out of the equation? GCNLoans.com removes the slow, irritating approval process. Instead, get quick, simple funding. Powered by David Allen Capital, 80% of our pre-qualified clients are approved in days. Pre-qualify at GCNLoans.com and get your money this week. It's that easy. GCNLoans.com. That's GCNLoans.com.
Fellow Patriots, my name is Todd Savage, founder of BlackRifleRealEstate.com. Like you, I was a prisoner of the alt-left sanctuary state until one day I chose to lead my family to freedom. Today we live on a sustainable 20-acre homestead where we shoot, hunt, garden, and homeschool our children without the tyranny of the nanny state looking over us. If you're ready to flee the city to the freedom of Idaho or Montana, our Black Rifle Real Estate team is here to help. Go to BlackRifleRealEstate.com. That's BlackRifleRealEstate.com.
A new medical study on the effects of marijuana use confirms that everyone knows you're high and that you'll never stop feeling like this.
Everyone can smell the marijuana on your breath and on your clothes. Everyone is laughing at you.
Additionally, the in-depth report reveals that despite trying to act cool, you're definitely laughing too much and everyone is messing with you.
Your parents know you're high. Your friends know you're high. Strangers on the street know you're high. If you're young and you smoke marijuana, you will probably never be able to find a job. And if you're an adult, you will most likely be fired. If you hear a noise, that's probably the police, and you're probably going to jail.
While previous studies suggested that it's all good and that we're all made of the same stuff that makes stars, new research indicates that your brain got broken and you shouldn't have done this. Doctors say the study raises important questions such as, what if that wasn't just marijuana and how are you going to get home?
This is the Onion News Network.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial in toll free. Bring up whatever you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. 855-450-3733. Skype username is lrn.fm. We've also got Discord, the Discord on-air call-in line room. You can join that over at discord.lrn.fm. As we continue here with you in the studio tonight, it's me, Ian.
Melanie.
And Mark.
So, I want to let you know about liberty.menu. If you are a libertarian, if you're a voluntarist, if you're somebody who loves freedom, and you're not yet listed on liberty.menu. Your business. There's a lot of liberty-minded people. They've got something that they do. They've got some kind of entrepreneurial thing that they're involved in. They'd like other people who are also freedom-friendly to know about that. Well, liberty.menu is finally here, and it's finally it's an awesome tool. It looks great. It's easy to use. It's free to list your business, or maybe you're an artist. Maybe you are creating digital content. You can list your digital content there. You can list your events that you might be involved in or working to promote over at liberty.menu. It's a global map of liberty-friendly businesses, content creators, and events. And you can go there and add stuff to it. And you can rate and review, and you can connect with others through a bit of a social networking aspect there as well. Go check it out and get to work over at liberty.menu. Maybe you get some new customers out of it. And again, it's free to list your business over at liberty.menu. And you can do more than one for free as well. There's no limit to the amount of content that you can put in there. Liberty.menu. Use code FTL on your account, and you'll get a special Free Talk Live listener badge. Once again, liberty.menu as we continue. Of course, we'll take your calls and thoughts about what you want. But Melanie, you're getting married soon. I don't think that's a secret, right? You were proposed to on the air here on Free Talk Live. You're getting married, and so you're kind of in that world of dresses and venues and photographers and all that stuff. And so you're kind of in the marriage realm. You had a marriage-related story that you wanted to talk about here tonight.
Yeah, so it's kind of related to not just stuff I come across from wedding planning, but stuff I come across in general and just a larger cultural thing I don't like.
All right.
But so this is a blog post from a website, The Odyssey Online, who apparently just takes random blog posts.
Okay. From people who aren't with the website?
It doesn't seem to be a news media. It's just a website for bloggers.
Got it.
But it's called It's Time to Stop Shaming Young Marriage. And she says, I've seen a lot of articles circling lately about not tearing women down because they choose not to have kids or because of their body shape, because of their choices in men, because of any reason under the sun. However, I haven't seen anyone talking about not shaming women who get married young. I knew a woman once, and I suppose her heart was in the right place when she said these things to me. I don't know if I agree with that, but she told me more than once that I needed new friends because too many of my friends were getting engaged, and that was a bad influence.
At a young age, presumably.
Yes. Now, by a young age, they don't mean 12.
No.
You're talking about 19, 18, 20.
18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah.
She also frequently suggested that I need to party more.
That's a good plan. That always leads to wealth.
What's the youngest person you know that got married, Ian? Like in real life, you know?
I don't know. I don't pay attention to marriages generally. I don't attend them most of the time. So.
When I was at work release, I was in Bartow, Florida, and you can cue the banjos, right?
I didn't have them ready. I'm sorry, but I could.
So 14 years old is the answer to my question for me. I met a woman who had been married at the age of 14. She was probably in her early. No, I think she was like 21 or something. Maybe 18, 19, 20, 21. She had false teeth, too.
Wow. So wait, who was 19? She was?
The girl that had gotten married at 14.
Oh, okay. No, was she still together with the guy?
Yes, but they seem to have some arrangement because, they seem to run around at each other.
Gotcha. Well, okay, I can think of one I didn't know, but we knew about, right? There was Mary Kay Letourneau. The teacher?
Yeah,
remember that one where she was with her student and then she went to prison, but he loved her, so he waited, and they had like a baby and then another baby together, and they were still together for years. In fact, I think they recently finally did break up, but for many years after she got out of prison, they were a couple.
And he thought that it was a bad idea, even though he was with the woman for married for many years.
He thought what was a bad idea?
That the idea of getting together with somebody at a very young age was a bad idea.
Oh, you kids, you shouldn't do what I did.
Well, you probably shouldn't marry your teacher. Like, that's probably the problem there, not that he was 16 or 18 or whatever he was.
Well, actually, it seemed to be fine for many years. Actually, they were together for a long time as a purportedly happy couple. I mean, he got back together with her after she got out of prison.
Right, but if they eventually got divorced, that kind of indicates that it failed.
Well, it did fail eventually, but plenty of people's marriages fail, and many of them fail within the first year.
There's Loretta Lynn's a pretty good example of somebody who got married quite young. Not a teacher, though.
I just happened to run across somebody, I won't say who, but we saw somebody get married at a Freedom Festival within the last year or so, and that person is no longer together with that person. So the marriage did not even make it a year in that particular case. In fact, I can think of another couple that married at a Freedom Festival several years ago that didn't make it a year. And I won't say who that is either, because there's no point in dragging names through the mud. But two of the marriages at various different Freedom Festivals that have happened here, you know.
So I guess don't get married at Pork Fest either. I don't know.
But you know, people, it doesn't always work out. That's just kind of life. Let's go. We'll talk more about young marriages because you've got more to say, and you said this really bugs you, so we'll get into that. But first, Marvin is on the line with us, listening to WVNJ in New York City. Hey, Marvin.
No, in Suffolk, New York.
Oh, okay. Well, where's that?
That's right on the border of New Jersey.
Okay. Yeah, it's technically it's a station that's in Jersey, but they cover a portion of New York City. Anyway, go ahead.
But it's a delayed broadcast. I'm hearing what you were talking about last night about Earth Day.
Oh, okay. Tell me about Earth Day.
Well, you seem to be ridiculing this whole concept, and I was curious to know. They were talking about people starving. How many people today in the world die of starvation?
What does that have to do with environmentalism?
Well, so the Earth Day. Let me bring everybody
This is
up to
from
speed.
last night's show.
I'm the only one who was on the air, so you can. Well, I'll do my best to field this. So in this 1970, there were all kinds of predictions made at Earth Day.
Ice Age.
Yep, and basically, Ice Age was mentioned. Basically. Something like 2/3 of humans were going to starve to death inside of some short period of time, that has already passed, and obviously we made it, that kind of thing. So you're asking right now how many people are starving?
Well, I guess the question was, in 1970, how many people a year were dying of starvation?
Probably more than now would be my guess.
Well, yeah, in the discussion that I was listening to on the radio, I know it's a horrendous amount of people who presently today die of starvation.
Yeah, that may be true, but I do
very hungry people in Africa.
I do point out during that that whole conversation that the vast majority of starvation that's occurring right now, I'm not talking about malnutrition, because you could be fat and malnourished.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about starvation. The vast majority of starvation that's occurring today has to do with governments intervening in NGOs attempting to distribute food. Like, we've got all the food we need,
mm-hmm.
and it isn't capitalism that's keeping it away from people. It's government.
Look at Venezuela. I mean, an incredibly temperate climate for growing food. They could grow all the food they could ever possibly eat, but right now those people are hungry. They're missing meals because the government is destroying their economy.
Oh, I see. But, do you agree, though, that worldwide starvation is an issue?
Starvation
in many places, people are starving.
I believe worldwide that governments are an issue, because governments are what are causing starvation.
Yeah, let's talk about it, though, Marvin. If you want to make a point about it, you're welcome to hang on. We'll continue with you here in moments. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. You can take control of the airwaves here. This is Free Talk Live.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
You're right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too, you know.
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
We just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You can dial toll free to join us here. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. The 855-450-3733. Free Talk Live AMP program. You can get signed up for the AMP program for $5 a month, and it's money that we invest into the show to get on more radio stations, to bring more internet listeners on board. In fact, we're talking behind the scenes about different kinds of internet outreach that we can do. We've been able to move some money around. Daryl has decided he is no longer going to accept direct payment for his affiliate relations work with Free Talk Live, which means that the AMP program has just seen a increase in money that we can, because the AMP program was paying Daryl to do some affiliate relations.
We made him a partner.
Yeah, he's bringing some money in other ways through the show, so he has voluntarily decided to let that go. So we were talking last night about, well, what can we do now that we have this extra AMP money? Because AMP has gone down over the last several years, and we haven't had any extra AMP money to do anything with. We've been losing it over time slowly because sometimes people will cancel, and some weeks we have 3 cancellations but only 1 sign up, right? So over time it whittles it down and down and down. So if you want to help us get Free Talk Live on more radio stations, if you want to help more internet listeners hear the show, then please get behind the AMP program. It's really a very small group of listeners that we really appreciate who helps us do this, and it's because of the Free Talk Live amplifiers is why we're on 185 radio stations from coast to coast, a new record high.
Is that 185 now?
185 now. It's been a great 3
What are you going to do when we
months.
get to 2?
Announce that? I don't know. I guess we did have that big party years ago at PorkFest. Remember when Jason Osborne?
Remember when you could go to PorkFest? Back when Ian could go to PorkFest? That was so nice.
Well, no, one of the
It was nice
officers
back
or
then.
board members, whatever they're called, is now denying that you were ever banned on Facebook.
Well, that's just
Which is just silly.
That's a misunderstanding of what happened. But regardless of all
So
that,
maybe you can go to PorkFest. I don't know why you would want to, but
yeah, I mean, I can't imagine why anyone would want to go somewhere where they've been disinvited to go. Now, if I were to be invited to go by the people who originally,
Nobody's
the board
invited
of
to go to
directors.
PorkFest. It's just something you sign up and do.
Yeah, but I've been specifically
that's
banned from the event.
usually
so I'm
called an invitation to the general public.
I'm one of 3 or 4 people that has ever been banned from the Porcupine Freedom Festival. We call it Pariah Club, is what Chris Cantwell named it years ago when I joined it. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, yeah, the AMP program. Go to amp.freetalklive.com if you want to help what we're doing here. And then we'll tell you when we decide on what to do. We'll tell you what we've decided. We've got some irons in the fire, but I don't want to announce anything until it's done. As far as internet outreach and trying to bring some new internet listeners on board with the program, you can help us out. It's $5 a month. You get cool perks like access to the AMP-only call-in lines, the AMP-only podcast, the AMP-only Facebook group, the AMP-only chats on the Discord. In fact, just had an amplifier sign up this weekend, and he's a regular Discord participant. And so, of course, once you sign up, you just tell me what your account name is on Discord or shoot me a message on Discord and give me your AMP email, and I will upgrade you to the AMP status that you so richly deserve. Go to amp.freetalklive.com. Use PayPal, use credit card, use Bitcoin Core. It's up to you. amp.freetalklive.com. Marvin is still with us. He's in Suffolk, New York, listening to WVNJ. Marvin, you were calling about Earth Day, and you brought up starvation. I'm not sure where you were really going with this, but yes, starvation is still a problem in parts of the world, and as Mark pointed out, it's because of the government oppressing the people, usually in those areas, either physically or economically or both.
Okay, well, the point I would make was you were talking about Earth Day from 1970 and the way things were, and I don't think you understand how they were. People were starving then, people are starving now. So it's an issue. But the thing was pollution. I live close to the Hudson River. In 1970, the Hudson River was a sewer.
Yep.
It has greatly improved because of what happened. There was in Ohio, there was a river, I think the Cuyahoga River.
It was caught fire.
Right. That's the way things were.
And smog in L.A. was terrible. I think, I feel like we went across all those things. You don't think Earth Day fixed any of that stuff, right? Like Earth Day is just a way for people to talk about things. And with the point of reading I think the 18 laughable things about Earth Day, I'm not exactly sure what it is to point out that you got to be careful when you're dealing with environmentalists or frankly anybody who's trying to sell you on some concept, because when they exaggerate, but make predictions, like specific predictions. If I tell you the Earth is going to detonate, I will be right, because I haven't given you a time limit. If I say the Earth will detonate by next week, then you can call back next week and you can say, Mark, you're a flaming idiot.
Okay, but you have to understand, in 1970, there were so little regulations on what people could do with the water in the air, and there was a movement to say it was concentration of pollution by corporations.
Well, no, that's not what they were talking about. The quotes were nearly, they were focused on world population. In 1970, they were very concerned that the population was growing, and it continued to grow. Now we're past double what it was, and everything is fine, which shows that the concern about world population, that they were predicting the death of 4 of the 5 billion people that were on the planet, I think is what one of the predictions predictions was? I mean, that's a pretty big prediction. Like 4 out of 5 people are going to be dead by 1985. That needs to be pointed out that
those were wrong.
When somebody makes a prediction about, say, global warming, because if you look at the predictions from, the Inconvenient Truth,
the alarmism is similar.
Some of the alarmism's similar, and we can look back and we can see it's wrong. I'm not saying that I'm all for corporations dumping raw sewage into the Hudson River.
What about his point, though, about the regulations? I mean, isn't it the regulation? Shouldn't we be looking and saying, look, we talk a lot about the failure of government here, but isn't this a success? I mean, they cleaned up the Hudson River. They cleaned up the pollution in Los Angeles. He's giving us these examples here. Isn't this a testament to the fact that regulations can work? If I don't
know if you're familiar with the Hudson River, but there was a company called General Electric that dumped PCBs into the Hudson River. That pollution still exists in the Hudson River.
I'm sure it does. What regulations are, and I think that regulations introduced in the marketplace probably made a lot of sense when you're dealing with a situation where you've got, unowned property, a la the Hudson River. No one owns that. So companies would, they dump things right in there. Libertarianism has a different solution for that. But that's not what we were trying to address last night. We weren't trying to say...
Yeah, but he's bringing it up tonight.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. And what I'm saying is that under libertarianism, people would be responsible for their actions. If that responsibility meant you were dumping raw sewage or PCVs or whatever it was and I'm not sure what those are, but...
You're saying you'd be liable for
You'd be liable for that, and you would have to pay for, restitution, everybody who was harmed, all that stuff.
You remember what happened more recently, within the last, 5-7 years or decade or something, the BP oil spill out in the Gulf of Mexico? You remember that? In that case, the federal government actually protected, with all of its regulations, protected BP up to, I think it was $75 million in liabilities. So BP paid, I think, up to $75 million, and then the government, through taxpayer dollars, paid for the rest of it. So basically, these big corporations, they are in partnership with the government. They don't necessarily reject these regulations. To some extent, many of them embrace them because they know that it keeps competition out of their business. So I think that what Mark's saying here is important to focus on, and that is that if we didn't have the government, it doesn't mean that corporations would be going crazy polluting. If we had private property and people were actually able to be held liable legally through their pollution of that private property in some sort of system of courts or whatever it would end up looking like, or interlocking insurance policies or whatever, the free market system.
Because mistakes will happen, right?
Yeah, that they would have to pay for those mistakes to full liability rather than leaning on the government and the taxpayer.
Yeah, I can't remember.
And if you have a river or anything else that you keep in a state of no one owns it, you can't expect anything other than every single person to own it to the best of their benefit without any cost. I mean, that it's the tragedy of the commons. It's pretty basic human behavior.
Anyone ever been into a park bathroom before? Ugh. Talk about something nobody owns, nobody takes care of. I mean, am I right?
It's grody.
Park bathrooms? Have you ever been in one where it's been like, yeah, let's have a sit down here?
Only
nice
if it's pouring down rain.
Nice and clean. Hey, Marvin, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. So, we're obviously short on time here, Melanie. You're concerned about these people who are critiquing young marriages. And are you upset because you feel like you're getting married at a young age, or?
I'm 31,
right.
So no. No. So basically what I get a lot, or hear being told to other people, is that women who are 18, 19, 25 years old are getting married too young, and they get told that they shouldn't make that kind of a commitment. And what they usually get told is that they should go to college instead, play around with a career for a little bit, quit, and then get married, as if going to college isn't a lifelong commitment.
It's certainly a crazy commitment of money. There's no doubt about it. I wish we had more time for it, but maybe later. See you tomorrow. freetalklive.com. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
The latest episode of Declare Your Independence is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network, LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, April 23rd, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.83 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,325 per ounce. Zen Cash is trading at $34, and the average price of Bitcoin is $8,963. Antiwar.com reports the Islamic State bombers attacked 2 voter registration centers in Afghanistan on Sunday. The first and biggest attack hit